Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chain Shift 2025 Sunday. We'll bring you the finals of all of our tournaments today. My name is ShinyEspeon. With me, I have Kraken Atkins once again and Captain No Fun. We'll be calling the action for your top 8 today. Thank you for joining us. And guys, this looks it's going to be quite fun. I'm looking forward to this one.
I mean, just to say fun, and remember, fun is, the antithesis of it. We have a special 3-person supersized booth. What better way to celebrate Fatal Fury and Chain Shift than with a 3-person commentary team?
Woo, woo. Yep, we're all caffeinated, ready to go, ready to watch this high-level City of the Wolves action. Also representative of like different pool blocks, right? We were able to commentate on the first waves. You were more representative of like the second wave, so it'll be interesting seeing these worlds collide and who's going to come out on top in the stack bracket.
Yeah, there is a lot of numerous stories. One of them being Boardman breaking the stereotype that TOs can't play the game by literally not only doing well, but in the top 8 on the loser side. So, he's kind of holding the stereotype a little bit, but not quite.
A placement's a placement, man. Boardman cooking up with that HOTARU. We'll be fighting Drex a little bit later. But, yeah, we have the full bracket spread right here. So, in winner's side, ShinyEspeon and Bubba. And then we also have Zane, 2-game in Zane over here, City of the Wolves. Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rise going to be happening as well against JunkDawg. And then in the loser side as well, we have Stratos and BrkRDave. Yeah,
I had the pleasure of watching ShinyEspeon. Unfortunately, I spent most of the block mispronouncing their name because the E wasn't capitalized. So I was like, ShinyEspeon.
ShinyEspeon?
I apologized profusely to him afterwards. But I was really impressed with Espeon's play, especially, especially Kraken as a fellow HOTARU player.
Sure, yeah.
There were some very one-sided matches, so I want to see things get a little bit more competitive.
Okay.
Yeah, so like you said, we kind of split the pools there. So wonderful to like that we get to kind of talk about that. So Kraken, from the first pool, like what did you really see that like you're kind of looking forward to see? Because we got obviously half the top 4 here or top 8.
Well, our block had like good character variety that ended up making it in, right? Yeah. So we had HOKUTOMARU, courtesy of Zane. I want to say Bubba was the KAIN player, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're correct.
Drex had a really impressive DJENET.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking to see how that shapes out when they get to play. And then Boardman with the HOTARU, as we were just talking about, right? So it wasn't even beyond that. Our block had RONALDO. Our block had like many like powerful like character representations that I wasn't ready for. So within the other pool side of things, I was watching. Speaking of RONALDO, BrkRDave. I was talking to somebody before that poll had started. They were like, "Yeah, BrkRDave's in this tournament." I was like, "Oh, they have to play RONALDO or Ganachi. Like those are the BrkRDave characters in this game. It's gonna be one or the other." And then I saw like it's RONALDO. Okay, yeah.
They were pretty like anime coded characters.
Yeah, and he's like BrkRDave. Typically, there are some exceptions, but he tends to play the weirdos, right? He plays like a very like a BrkRDave-esque character. It's just like unexplored. He's gonna be like the tech monster and like have something that's like a less seen approach, like a Majin Buu or something like that from Dragon Ball 5, what he's known for. So.
Oh yeah, also BrkRDave in Uni plays Merkava, so really holding on to. I like playing the strange characters.
Right. So.
Yeah, it's what's really cool about BrkRDave as a player is that he usually takes that unorthodox playstyle and sort of molds it to his own. It makes it very difficult for other people to play against him. Like we've known for him as a Merkava and Wallstein player for a really long time, that like he plays different than all of the other Merkava and Wallsteins in the United States. So it's like it can get quite tough. But we'll have him later on for the bracket. We are starting on the top side of our bracket here at top 8. It's Chain Shift 2025. Here it is. We're going to go with the HOTARU versus KAIN to start this off.
Yeah, this is a very interesting matchup. KAIN definitely able to really enforce the distance. HOTARU can fight distance, but really needs to go close up like what ShinyEspeon is doing right now.
Yep. Rightfully so, establishing this pressure here early. Gotta be dipping past the SPG close for sure with the red blow as a response.
Oh, classic orb setup, but Bubba cannot get it, and this is that big little girl damage that I like to call it.
It's gonna take the corner back once again. Nice read on the roll as well.
Yeah, Bubba's doing the best they can to stay out of the corner, but unfortunately they are overheating.
Yeah. KAIN players will do that quite often because they're being kind of cheeky, but it doesn't have any invul like the other suitor does.
Yeah, Espeon definitely knew that matchup and was not afraid of seeing that flash.
So yeah, looking for quite a bit of anti-air rev blows here. I mean, KAIN has a rev blow that's super pivotal and neutral, right? You can call out like a lot of big options in order to present that threat. But up close, because leave much to be desired.
Ooh, Espeon knows the just timing of that chain.
Okay, we out of there.
Plays that DP perfectly. Plus frames. Yep. Just gonna check them with that far D as they keep rolling in and keep the pressure going.
Ugh.
Gets caught. And that's going to be the first game going for ShinyEspeon.
Yeah, it really feels like Bubba was not able to get their offense. KAIN is really known for disgusting Oki and Orb setups, but you can't really set them up if you don't knock your opponent down.
Indeed. Yeah, and ShinyEspeon is doing a fantastic job of keeping the matchup close. One thing I'm noticing about their playstyle, there's a wide variety of block string options. Like, they may go for, like, different timings in terms of, like, if they're going to use, like, the EX hands or if they're going to go for the up kick to have different just different timings and responses, respectively. So it's kind of keeping Bubba on their toes.
Oh, dude. Literally, Bubba was off his toes with the whip flash kick, and I really like what ShinyEspeon is doing. Utilizing the run. Running is very strong in City of the Wolves.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Is that gonna work? Yeah.
Bubba's gonna get some much needed damage and space. Finally able to set up the Oki in the situation, jump in, and ShinyEspeon just mashes that A button to get out.
Yeah, that's where KAIN get really scary when they're threatening like burnout pressure. They're one of the best in the game to do it, right? And so Bubba had some OD gauge available, leaving some gaps. Maybe if ShinyEspeon was going to DP, but the match was there instead. So.
Now, one thing I'm noticing is that Bubba has not really been able to tap into the SPG range because ShinyEspeon is really killing it in the early on. Is that really a big problem for KAIN not accessing those tools?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them mostly tend to rev flow earlier, and it's been like much as like an anti-hero option, so maybe just like not the proper context. But yeah, you're right; they haven't been able to get much utilization out of it.
Ooh, wasn't allowed to get a lot of combo on that because of the overheat, but they do almost have 2 bars. It could force the situation really heavily to close out this round.
Try to go for the counter fireball, and this is the big punish that Bubba has. Can we milk it for all it's worth and turn it into a milkshake?
Yeah, really close to burnout here. Yeah, it's gonna do it. Pretty much guaranteed, but get the combo.
That's not the money back guarantee we were looking for.
Okay, we cleaned it up at the end of the day. Had me a little bit paranoid, but it worked out.
Well, you know, money back guarantee if you're not satisfied, and definitely Bubba was satisfied with that result.
However, that did cost 2 bars, right? And
yeah.
So ShinyEspeon going with a full stock, and Bubba has to fight to get even that first bar before they get some good mix-ups.
I love this just defend.
Ooh.
And the cants for Bubba finally tap into the SPG range. And Espeon wisely DPing. And again, Bubba is going to stay in the corner, but goes right back out. This is really a fight for the middle ground for Bubba.
Okay. In overheat. One thing I really like about ShinyEspeon when they're forcing these overheats on Bubba, they're opting for fireballs and just kind of like running behind it in a very passive way. It's just like, you don't want to block this. It's going to drain your guard gauge, but if you jump, I'm going to punish you. Like.
Yeah, once I can let the super rip, and it does not work out, ShinyEspeon will be able to take it 2-0.
That is definitely a showcase of why HOTARU was very good. Bubba definitely had some sparks of life. I really like that situation where Bubba was able to tap in and use the red blows. But unfortunately, you just couldn't keep this girl out of your system.
That's one of her strengths, right? Yeah. Like the light fireball is so slow that you just get to like toss it and run behind it, and it just forces something from your opponent, whether it's a jump, a JD. You don't really care because the gap close is crazy.
She's one of the best to ever do it. I call her a perfect soldier for a reason. We're getting the full example as to why she is one of the strongest soldiers within this game. But yeah, ShinyEspeon, beautiful performance, going to be within Winners Finals. Another thing I really want to mention about this game that I've noticed from this tournament and just like a lot of the other tournaments is what, like, it's such a melting pot of scenes. Yeah. Right? In more recent tournaments, we have been seeing like matchups like Goichi, who's like, you know, god of anime games, like Chris G representing, who's just like, you know, a huge Marvel head. Of course, he's like known for other games and such, but like within this tournament, you know, ShinyEspeon I know more of like as a Guilty Gear Strive player. Right? And then another match you have coming up, Zane, you know, formerly known for like Dragon Ball Fighters, now more for like the Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising side of things. So seeing like it's not just like SNK heads that are playing this game. Everybody's just kind of like giving it a try and having fun with it, you know? Yeah,
it really just shows the appeal of City of the Wolves and the great amount of care that SNK has put into the raw systems mechanics, especially defense alone. People have been talking about how active defense and defensive mechanics have been underplayed in this world. And with hybrid defense, just defend, and just general movement options, it really seems like on the system level much more complex than your typical modern fighting game.
Yeah, I think the one thing I really appreciate about SNK fighting games, and it comes with KOF as well, is that like understanding how to approach the game feels very simple. It doesn't. It's not like it feels like there's a whole bunch of these absurd mechanics that like really sort of obfuscate like how to approach it. Yeah, you know, just defense, guard cancels. There's a lot there, but they all make sense. They're easy to understand. And the core game of City of the Wolves is simple enough for you to jump in and expand upon that. And after that, it's just about getting games.
You're absolutely right. There's a certain intuitiveness that's hard to communicate until you put your hands on the controller. But, you know, we got Boardman on stage. I was actually talking to Boardman, and I asked him why HOTARU. And according to him, his story was he likes her playstyle, and she just so happened to be top tier.
Me too. Actually, me too. Me too.
What a coincidence!
I got done with beta 2, and I was like, I think HOTARU is my favorite character. And everybody went, yeah, I bet, huh? She is, I think, to say that, though, to translate it into something that sounds a little bit more commentator-friendly, it is... Just to say it like that so I could talk about something on the microphone.
Of course.
It is really beneficial to have a run that is really fast and have all of the tools in the game necessary to fight everybody else. Like, you're never starved for an option with this character.
You are absolutely right. She has every tool in the toolbox, and it just so happens these are the premium tools.
However, no. Oh, no.
No, there's a button check.
All right, I was going to be interested because we saw Boardman in our block and we saw him run HOTARU the whole way through. So, not to say any other character is bad or anything like that. Like, I think Rock's like a pretty good character. We've been touting Drex. Drex seems really good on the Jenny, but see how it goes.
Indeed. So.
Also, shout out to the venue. Check it out, viewers. There is custom red and purple lighting matching the Chainship logo. This place looks like the logo. This is a really nice presentation here.
Yes, chilling at the Holiday Inn. It's been dope. Be with all my friends here at Chainship SoCal. We're headed within this top 8. Boardman versus Drex. Tio's cooking up. He's looking at the camera because he knows where to look. He set it up. Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
So this is our second HOTARU on stream, but this is the first time we're going to see JENET on camera. Not a very often represented character in tournaments, would you say?
Not as much as the other characters for sure, but I think she has some of the best pressure in the game. I think it's truly scary, and if you're not ready for it and you don't understand how her frame counts like kind of change the way that you're supposed to play against her, it'll be really tough. She's one of the characters I think you have to learn how to guard cancel against.
Right. It really feels like a character you have to learn her specific matchup for, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
One early interaction that I saw is that in reaction to the first projectile that Boardman threw with HOTARU, Drex went for the Harrier B. She does have BJJ, that is, a lot of little air mobility options in terms of like her axe kick and the dive kick and the Harrier B. So I'll be interested to see if that's what's going to be the constant action to that projectile or what's going to go on there.
You know, one thing I want to see play out is we're looking at a character that is represented a lot versus a character not as represented.
Sure.
Do you think there could be a matchup imbalance knowledge from Boardman's side?
Potentially.
It's certainly possible early on in the game cycle because if you're just playing ranked, you'll see a lot more of the top tier characters. And if you don't have that tournament experience, unless you're playing against somebody specific, you won't have the time to play against this character.
Okay, here we go. That big little girl damage and Boardman running in, again, using the benefits of both a fireball and a run. And playing a lot more patient. We're not seeing as much of aggressive HOTARU as we saw before.
Oh, man. The mind game around this has been really interesting. So on the first break cancel that Drex did, she's minus on that. They went for parry, expected for Boardman to go for like some type of counter action. Boardman didn't show it, but now that they keep doing it, Boardman's finally showing the DP. Lots of mind games there.
Well, we're starting to mine this corner right now. Drex is going to easily close this out with the rev. And finally, we got our first game. Drex looking extremely strong right now.
Yeah, it's when she gets that close C feint, it's her game entirely. Like, it's +3 in front of you as opposed to most other close C feints, which are +2. She still retains the ability to frame trap because her far C is 7 frames, so she has button priority on the heavy button, so it's really difficult to get away from her once she gets there.
Oh my god, right now, Boardman's stuck in the corner. It's looking really bad for them, but we're still in SPG range. Maybe we'll see a rev blow or not.
Oh.
That felt good to call out.
Big rev blow. Get me out of this corner. Back into the mid-range we go. Harrier B. Challenge after that.
Oh, cheeky response to the cross-up.
That's interesting. Close B, I wonder if like close A would have beat it outright because it would have been a frame faster.
My question is, was that intentional?
It could have been, yeah. Maybe crossed up inputs, kept it just getting a button instead.
Right. Okay, huge opportunities for Birdman here, right? Uses some of the most significant points of offense they've been able to run all set long, so. Ooh, I like that. It's out of the corner, actually. That was tricky.
Oh, that was, especially with the Harrier float. And once again, Drex has the corner, waiting for a response and rev blow. That is a new option that Boardman's starting to introduce now in this game.
Yeah, gets the cross up. No combo, though. Just going to make it work afterwards with the far C.
Spend a little bit of that gauge to secure better positioning, a little bit more damage. And, wild punish jumping.
There it is. Drex going to be moving on within the loser's side. Birdman doing some work, right? Plays within this top 8. Really cool to see them come out and help put this tournament together in the first place. Just kind of overcome Drex, who looked so phenomenal within that set. You had talked about earlier how important it could be to have guard cancels against BJNA,
yeah,
by setting up her strings. Boardman instead opted for the rev blow, as you mentioned, which was allowing for a little bit of mind game about how Drex was constructing pressure. You saw a lot more feint cancels, right, as a result of that. So I like that Boardman was trying to make those adaptations. Just at the end of the day, the pressure from Drex was just too strong. It was overwhelming.
But also what we were seeing from Drex's side was a lot of the guard cancels of their end, and especially in the last game. And that probably, for me, is because Drex has fought a lot of HOTARU. So that timing is in the DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Jenny, though, specifically, her rev blow is the fastest in the game currently at 13 frames. So her guard cancel rev blow is really, really valuable. It's very easy to do. It's very hard to call out after a guard cancel. So when I saw Boardman put Drex into SPG, we saw that there was a lot of guard cancel rev blows, right? I kind of wish that you anticipate that by using a super in that scenario and blowing through more of that SPG.
SPG is definitely one of the coolest wrinkles in City of the Wolves, in my opinion. Whether we want to start it, put it in the middle, or put it at the end, it really is a conscious decision and really change the tempo of the match when it hits that range.
Yeah, it informs a lot of decisions on both ends, right? It informs like your combo routing because you're thinking like, hey, do I want to spend resources to like skip their SPG, right? It also informs like your decision making of like, do you want to go for rev blow to crank up your gauge, but is it worth taking that risk? Like, it's a really like simple system when you're looking at it, but it has so many deeper implications, even on your meter, right? Depending on where you have it on the health bar, we were talking about that earlier. There may be more or less gauge costs. If you have like towards the end, you're spending less, you may be able to do more EX options. At the top, you can't. So it's a really cool mechanic.
Yeah, it really adds to the mental stack because once your opponent's in SPG range, you just have to like think about that.
Yeah, so a lot of the times you'll see the best players sort of structure their combos accordingly. We're seeing that actually develop at the super highest level currently, where people are actually dropping combos right before SPG hits and then trying to get another hit and then using the super to just blow past it altogether.
Let's go ahead and blow right to this match. Now on the screen right now is JunkDawg fighting, come on, give me the name, versus
this is Zane. Yeah, this is JunkDawg versus Zane.
JunkDawg versus Zane. I had the pleasure of talking to JunkDawg. JunkDawg is a lifelong Shoto fan.
Ooh, okay.
So he saw Marco, and he loved Mr. Karate. Mr. Karate back in the Art of Fighting days.
Yeah.
And really feels like Marco captures that old playstyle. So when he came to this version, it's just he's locked in. He's locked in.
Cool. This is a player that I, because they were within the other block, I didn't get a chance to see them, but I was wondering if we were going to have a Marco player in this tournament, and it turns out they're on winner side top 8. So I'm scared. You know, I'm not even playing, but like I know what this character is capable of. You know, there is the Shoto mindset there, but also this character's a mix-up machine. Like they want to carry you to the corner, you like abuse their crazy EX Tatsu, and then you got to guess between the high-low option. They both lead to full combos, so it's just like good luck.
Yeah, Marco does have a pretty reliable overhead, but it is pretty dangerous at -8 on block, -6 on meaty. So JunkDawg has to make calculated risks. EX Tatsu, as you called out, cracking right to the rev blow. He goes for the low instead on the Oki.
Oh, try to get him to press a different button there. You're going for the parry. Safe jump setup. Oh, no, kind of messed it up, but it's okay.
Alright, utilize that double jump. Try to go for the UAA a little bit too late.
Should mention, by the way, both rev meters very high already.
Especially JunkDawg, first player to overheat right now. Zane All right, we see Zane be a little bit more aggressive, and JunkDawg using the shoulder privilege for the anti-air. Overhead finally connected, but it's going to be Zane connecting with the bigger combo.
Yeah, it seems like they missed that 2A to confirm into the EX Tatsu.
Could be. And it's also like you can tell the JunkDawg feeling the pressure. HOKUTOMARU is a character that can really, once you're in that territory of guard gates, can pile on a lot of EXs to break your guard gates really easily. So right now, Zane in full control. Finds the throw.
Missed throw opportunity. JunkDawg going to wisely take their turn. That's those through my games, but JunkDawg did not get the full punish until now.
Ooh.
Haven't really seen Marco players go for the hard knockdown. Usually they try, or sorry, a safe jump setup. They usually try to go for a high-low throw once they get into that position.
Right. A little bit of a different approach here within that overheat territory. Baits it out, but didn't block the full thing.
Oh, goes for the DP again. JunkDawg, an extremely aggressive situation, but Zane finally finds their combo, and we're going to use the super and get this game for Zane.
There was a lot of opportunities for JunkDawg. I mean, a couple of dropped combos really hurt for sure, especially on Marco, where it's like, this character wants to get the ball rolling.
In addition, JunkDawg has been playing highly aggressive with the rev gauge, so we're dropping our combo and putting ourselves close to overheat at the same time. The worst of both worlds. Sonic-Ken, excellent cross-up situation to try to get closer to the corner, and now Zane, SPG range, uses it and gets punished for his trouble.
I'm glad that he has the punish, right? That's a big thing about HOKUTOMARU right now. There was a recent nerf to that rev blow. It's really important if you have those punish opportunities available for the character.
Gets a throw afterwards. That overheats can become a problem. Nice 2CE to keep him in the corner.
That's true. JunkDawg's going to have to do something big. Woes for the DP. Wisely breaks for it. No way. That's the second time this has happened.
Okay, EX teleport. Oh, yeah, you can't block these. He knows he can't block it, so I'm just going to interrupt it. Full speed super.
Oh! Missed dashing fireball. 100% they missed dashing
for
fireball.
Sure.
Spacing is a resource, and we spent it improperly.
Yeah, the way that the input reader works, it has to be lenient to allow for guard cancels and stuff like that, but if you don't get that up forward when you're doing a dashing fireball, you will get a DP.
Right.
What I'm really wanting to know is the mental game of JunkDawg right now. Their offense has not been as reliable as it was in the previous day, and that's going to be eating at them. But let's see if JunkDawg is able to recover. The jump back A to disengage. I like that choice from Zane.
Yeah, getting a lot of miles out of the air to air. JunkDawg just tell they're trying to wiggle out, find some sort of momentum, but it's just like, yeah, you're so close to overheat. You can't just EX HOTARU. You're going to end up in that situation regardless. And now Zane putting on the finishing touches.
I wonder if Zane wasn't really calculating the rev meter that much, was kind of unsure where they could put the super in afterwards because they only had one more left and was trying to think of the right cancel. But nonetheless, they all worked out. In the end, Zane was able to take it 2-0.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these matches so far have been going 2-0 that I've noticed. Do you think that is just because of where the players are seated, or since we're still early in the day? It is 10:30 in the morning, which is criminally early in fighting game terms, especially for a top 8.
Yeah, it's true. I do think that there's a possibility that that is the case. Definitely for a lot of players, they might need that warm-up, or just if they're playing throughout the day, they usually get that warm-up in like right before brackets, or the brackets sort of like the early pools or the early matches in your bracket help you warm up, right? Because they're not going to be as competitive as being in a top 8 match, so you can just have that little bit of extra leeway. But once you're here and you're playing that top 8 from the get-go, you have to perform immediately, right? So those little things that you usually work out through in the middle, the early part of the bracket, is no longer available to you in a top 8.
But that does set us up for our winners finals now. So we do have ShinyEspeon versus Zane. That'll be some HOTARU versus HOKUTOMARU action. Maybe some commentators' worst nightmares.
It's mine. It's mine. They're both names that have an H and a long vowel. They are very similar.
I know you'll be at least better than.
It's like if I had a match between John and Juan. Actually, no, that is easier. That is easier, infinitely easier.
Listen, the biggest mix-up was my man's Diaphone. Shout out to Diaphone one time. He was getting bodied. But not only mixing the names, I think he started calling like one of them HOMARU. I'm like, bro, that's a completely different game. Like, what are we talking about here, bro?
No, that's the next DLC. We bring back the Samurai Showdown character.
Right?
Yo, can you imagine HOTARU in City with like Far C, standing heavy, depletes half your life? You're an SPG, take one counter hit fierce, and you're not.
What is going on? Maybe sometime in the future.
What is going on is one of the greatest top 8s of City of the Wolves in Chainsiff in La Miranda, California. That's what's up, Kraken.
So true, so true. As we continue along, we will be having more HOKUTOMARU action. Gonna be Representative Stratos, who I was watching in pools. Towards the latter end of that block, I was kind of looking at some of the off-team matches. I saw a HOKUTOMARU player cooking. I'm like, who is this? And it turns out they're able to make top 8 here. They will be going up against brkrdave, the Ronaldo specialist within this top 8 bracket.
The only Ronaldo I've seen so far right now.
Yeah, we had one in our pool, but it's definitely an unorthodox character. He plays a little bit differently. It'll fit brkrdave as a player because Ronaldo's very Oki-centric, so we'll see how that goes along. But I think before then, it really is interesting to see how the player finds their way in, because they do have like a decent fireball. Like, they kind of have Iron Trigger to some degree, right? It's a little bit funkier than that because you get to juggle the ball and stuff like that. So you get to change the timing in which you do the second part of it. But I don't think that's too big of a deal for Hokuto. The character gets around CR7s mix quite a bit. There's a lot of ways to bait fireball, or sorry, bait TP with the feint as well, the air feint. So it needs to be for brkrdave to take advantage of Hokuto's lack of reversal options without meter and try to get as much damage as possible, or force those supers out.
Right.
Hokuto does have a lot of ways to get in, and one of the things about brkrdave was he was sent to losers because of JunkDawg playing a more aggressive style. So I'm wondering what Stratos is going to do to try to emulate that success. But that success is not going to be emulated right now because they're successfully taken to the corner.
Yeah, that was an interaction I wasn't even thinking that I would see, where Stratos was going for the HOKUTOMARU slide. brkrdave did the chest bump and got a wild punish as a result of that. So
yeah, have to be able to deal with that far A. It's a very, very odd tool, but you do have to challenge it every single time and be ready to.
Yeah, it's a very weird hitbox, not to mention it advances Ronaldo forward, which is always good in games like this.
There you go. You're seeing Stratos check it a little bit more using that far A, 2A.
Ooh, okay, no universal anti-air there. Just a little bit afraid brkdave's going to be able to capitalize.
Not to mention, Ronaldo gets disgusting amounts of damage, too, that brkrdave is using quite well. Ooh. Oh, walked into that one.
Oh, we're stuck. Yeah, you see them trying to find a way out. Trading slides. That's a teleport. Get me out of here.
Hit 2 bars on the side of brkrdave.
Yeah,
Gives access to that snipe that he can do from full screen.
Oh, but somebody got sniped on their own from Stratos.
Yeah, those high up punishes for HOKUTOMARU on counter hit can be really hard to stabilize. I think EX flip kick is like one of the best ways to do so, but it can be hard to make that call in the moment.
Oh, we were waiting for that one.
Yep.
Great call about that, Sammy. That brkrdave was just waiting to use that super. Just wanted to see the moment we saw Shuriken on screen. Let's just kick the ball right through it and kick ourselves to our first game 1.
It could be easy to forget about. Like, typically Ronaldo has to do like stuff like this, right? Set up the ball and then I throw it. But when they have bar, bro has a bullet. Like, you can just send it at any given time. You gotta be respectful.
Oh, doesn't get a good combo off of that. Keeps it rev free, which they kind of want to see them actually, blow through that SPG.
You need a hand right now, HOTARU? Yeah, wow, I butchered that.
Wow. Able to navigate through the ball with the double jump.
I've seen Stratos miss a lot of the running quarter circle forwards. It's tough. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's definitely one of those things that Hokuto needs to learn how to do.
Counter hit from brkrdave, and now brkrdave on set point doing a fantastic job maintaining the lead, maintaining the pressure, and the aggression.
Yeah, in terms of the up-close game, I have noticed that Stratos is very conservative in terms of like counter pokes. Like, we're not seeing a lot of like stand Bs or like stand As in order to contest. It could be a matter of like HOKUTOMARU's cancel options. Like, you have to go to like elbow or in order to like maintain safety completely. Not really ideal options.
Holy cow, that is a crazy block string.
Oof. There we go. That'll do it. The OD elbow for the full confirm into the super.
Oh, you know that felt good for Stratos.
Just enough to be safe. Yeah, using a couple of those slides, checking brkrdave, approaching.
Oh, very brave for Stratos to still be going for the fireball, but still we got the teleport, got ourselves around. And, well, it's the classic set point versus survival point moment in these situations.
Indeed, indeed. I do like what Stratos is implementing here. You know, do you like those light buttons to interrupt some of brkrdave's pressure sequences up close? But man, brkrdave. Revving up right here. Hmm? Oh no.
A great backdash decision from brkrdave. So much life that is going to be needed to climb out for Stratos. They meet in the air and brkrdave wins this interaction.
For the finishing touches, shimmy situation. Oh my gosh. Chest bump, thumbs up. Chest bump, thumbs up.
It's good. It's good. You know, that is one of my favorite character outlines, a little thumbs up. It's not even trying to disguise itself as a punch. It's like, you get it, man? Let's get wait, I'm not on camera. I'll have to wait till I'm on camera. One of these.
One of these. Yeah, it's you have to challenge after the far A. You have to respond to Ronaldo's options afterwards. If you start pressing after the far A, which is typically either -1 or 0, you usually have to go to your 4-frame move. Hokuto's pretty blessed in the sense that he has a non-proximity 4-frame with 2A. That's true. That's really blessed in this game because not a lot of characters have that. Almost everybody's 4-frame move is attached to their close A for almost everybody else. He has 2 4-frame normals, which is super duper great. But you have to challenge in those situations. Otherwise, you get to see block streaks like that where they kind of feel like they're resetting over and over again. But brkrdave definitely took advantage of that.
Yeah, and that was one thing we were talking about in our block within a different context, right? I think it was when we were watching Drex BJNA.
Yeah.
In terms of like if you're showing like a lot of respect in this game to block strings of that kind, even if it's not hitting you, it's doing damage to like your gauge, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get revved up slowly but surely with the more respect that you showed. So like even when it's to that type of degree where you need to show just defense, or on that other side where brkrdave was showing that pressure, you're not like taking your turn or like showing the challenges. Blocking is not necessarily the best thing in this game, you know?
Yeah, you can only block so long. It's very reminiscent of the drive gauge in Street Fighter 6 where you can hold on to the pressure, but eventually you will die and you will crumble.
Yeah, definitely. The good thing is, what's cool is that there's offensive and defensive approaches to the game, right? Yeah. You can take those sequences and just defend through all of it. It's going to force the opponent to start doing something different, either delay the timing, go for a throw, et cetera, et cetera. Or you can start pressing into it, use guard cancels, you know. And that's like a defense and an offensive approach to how to like play against people. I think that's what makes the game so cool.
There's also hyper defense where defense becomes offense, where you block and just hit forward on the last input. So right now we have Drex versus JunkDawg, BJNA, and Marco. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially since, well, Marco has a reliable projectile that BJNA does not have.
But as Kraken Atkins mentioned before, this is one of the characters that actually approaches from the air quite often. There is a lot of tools that she can go into the air, kind of skip fireballs a little bit. Has also a decent fireball of her own to stop other fireballs, right? She has the 3-hit, so it's pretty easy to use in that regard. The thing that I think Marco has in this matchup that's really beneficial is a reversal. Because if you don't have a meterless reversal, you have to hold a lot of those for close C situations. This will hopefully scare Drex a little bit more than, let's say, a character who doesn't have that option.
My question right now is, JunkDawg last game got into a lot of trouble with revving up too soon and overheating way too soon. Are we?
It looks like that's not stopping.
Wow,
oh my god!
wow, okay.
Already showing immediate matchup knowledge. The gap shown, and they go for the BJNA parry. Uh-oh.
Yeah, usually you see everybody 2CE there, which is scaled, right?
Yeah.
But that's a really valuable punish.
Oh my god, that was just 2 interactions. I'm wondering, is JunkDawg going to press harder or start press back? Oh, a reversal of their own. Okay.
Yeah, heavy DP into the run counter. Very classic mix-up. Jenny kind of does the same thing with her own counter, right? Yeah, so it kind of works out that way, but Drex starts off strong here. First round goes to him.
Okay. See pressure off the feint. Into the corner we go. SPG still available. I'm going to spend it, but I know what you're thinking. Get it out of here.
Yeah, Oscar-style hip attack right now, Drex. using it. 2 booty bumps. Not a great situation for JunkDawg. Stuck in the corner with barely any life at 50 seconds in.
Overheat, tries to get some plus frames once again. Drex wants to close it out now. They would have been able to if they had anything to spend on that situation, but that will do it for Drex in the first game.
That cross-cut DP did not come in their favor. Drex, again, just every single round we've seen them in, it really does not feel like they're sweating hard or sweating much.
Yeah, if you're JunkDawg, there's a lot that you have to keep in mind here in terms of, there it is, right? That time, not canceling into the rev blow, ending it early, going for the throw punish, so they're already tapped into the mind game here.
I'd like to see a better punish, though, if you're going to do that. You know, Jenny's counter is susceptible to lows, and Marco has a great punish with that to be, you know, into the DP afterwards.
Sure.
Already that overheat tendency has played into this. JunkDawg at 84% over. We're going to have to hold this pressure, and the whiff, the block DP is not going to be good for their health.
Yup, when you know, you know. Spin the super gonna be. Oh, that was tricky. Did the thing cancel?
Be able to close it out. Drex one more.
Yeah, JunkDawg not able to get out of the gate right now, and you're wondering what does JunkDawg need to do. Okay, we're going to go for a more Shoto style, but nope, Drex going to still press the advantage.
Yeah, exploring layers of like the neutral game that we haven't even seen yet as a result, right? We see the EX area be coming out of the equation, but that makes the EX Tatsu more powerful. So able to find that with the neutral. Here's the Marco pressure.
Oh, missed the dash cancel after the fireball. Would have been able to get a really nice combo off of that.
Oh, now it's Drex that's overheated. Can JunkDawg take advantage of this situation? But no, Drex going to head spend that meter and continue their advantage.
Okay.
In overheat, so not going to get a lot of this, but this has recovered so much of Drex's overheat. They're almost out of it, and they just got overheat a second ago.
In addition, JunkDawg is so close to being put into overheat. We're going to use the EX Tatsu to just put ourselves and try to go for the frame kill. Meets in the air, but no, Drex still has the answer, and the answer is Drex's game right now. Unfortunately, sending JunkDawg out of the tournament.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Drex may have gotten hit by that EX Tatsu on purpose. Because it was just like, if he had blocked that, he was just like pretty much a sequence away from getting guard broken, and JunkDawg had like 2 bars of it. Like, you're gonna die, like essentially. So yeah. I actually think it was better to take the hit.
you might not be wrong. Like, that's something I'd have to go back and actually like see the whole sequence and like really think about. But there is a good point there, and to be honest, you know, JunkDawg really didn't get the ball started at any point. I wouldn't have been too afraid of the Tatsu. And especially thinking that, you know, at that point, you've added the counter as a threat as well, so it might keep him from pressing a little too hard.
Right.
But overall, that was good stuff from Drex.
And Drex has been playing extremely strong this entire tournament. And just from the get-go, where JunkDawg went for the over-level of starting hot, immediately pays for it dearly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's a lot of the Marco players who kind of play outside in. They try to do the actual like Shoto style, toss fireballs, DP, you know, that sort of thing. And then they'll kind of, there's other Marco players, I can this like maybe a little bit more to like Lokov, who's like kind of wants to force his way in, right? EX Tatsu, if it doesn't work, I'll just confirm it and, you know, break it on the last one, I'll -2. And even then, that's not that big of a deal for Marco. I have an invincible, you know, light DP, so even that's a guess on whether I'm going to press afterwards or not.
Okay, we got brkrdave back on screen right now.
brkrdave!
brkrdave
versus Bubba, gonna get some KAIN versus Ronaldo action.
This is a unique matchup to me, especially since both characters heavily rely on getting a hard knockdown to establish that early Oki pressure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen too much of this matchup, to be honest. I imagine that the difficulty here is that KAIN almost always outranges Ronaldo. Like, the far B, the 2A, just 2C, like, these are all things that Ronaldo really can't contest at those, like, max ranges.
Right.
Yeah, also there's going to be the option of Ronaldo's level 1 super. We already saw that brkrdave is not afraid to just throw it out as the bullet, as Kraken said. So it's not like Bubba could get too comfy at that range. Already the soccer ball kick showing us the difference of these projectiles.
Yeah, that EX soccer ball may be something that we see a lot within this matchup, right? KAIN is going to have the natural advantage due to like Ronaldo's setup heavy zoning style. So utilize EX to get in there, you know. Gotta be on the lookout for it.
And the far A once again. We have to show our response, which Bubba does with that nice forward chain. Pushes into the orb, but unfortunately Bubba's overheated.
Wait a minute, this is what things can get from bad to ugly here for brkrdave. Sets the tech forward.
Gets the super. No! Could have closed it out there. A well-timed 2A tried to clean up
and
the mess.
We already saw the tempo change. Once Bubba got that knockdown, it was definitely Bubba's game until it wasn't.
Yeah, if they were just able to confirm it to that super, they would have been able to take the round. But this super will allow them to get through brkrdave's SVG.
Oh, that had to be one of the most unfortunate ways to end the combo there. Ended up cornering themselves. brkrdave trying to take advantage.
I like the patience from Bubba, and brkrdave takes advantage of the patience with the throw. OD to get out of the corner. Still got hit, but at least we're in a better position until we're not.
Yeah, I think brkrdave felt that one there. Just jumped over. Doesn't clean it up just yet, but a third one will also whiff as brkrdave takes her first game.
You can really feel for Bubba, though. They go the 2 times they wanted to do flash kick, and they both whiffed horribly.
Yeah, and even preceding that, you know, something that's been pretty signature of Bubba is really relying on rev flow for anti-airs. That was one of the initial things that they tried, but brkrdave was doing the same, like, jump over Uki to, I think, kind of cover both options, whether it's rev flow or DP, both are whiffing.
I think, unfortunately, Bubba used the wrong feint there for the combo. They did get the dash up close D after the counter hit, and that was really good, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the full combo.
Patience. Ooh, finds the cross up. That whiff normal hit from Bubba going to be paying for it for sure.
This really feels like brkrdave's win condition, and we go for the dodge. We have not seen that option, and it paid off very well. Can Bubba use this situation to really get back that advantage? And the answer is absolutely yes!
Go for the setup here, needs to close it out, just jumps into it, so can't get a combo off of the situation.
And Bubba has to realize that they can't just stand back and hit those fireballs because brkrdave knows the just defend timing, or are we trying to go for the timeout? There is 17 seconds left on the clock.
He's pumping that super. Look
Right?
at he's
do anything.
Ooh.
Takes advantage of the mental stack and the mental frame to go for a throw, but great tech from Bubba. Oh!
That was like the craziest standoff ever. Because brkrdave the entire time was just like, I dare you to do anything. I will literally just win the game with this bullet that I have locked in the chamber. And then on the approach, Bubba's defense was immaculate. Ready for the throw tech, ready for that reversal. That was just insane.
Very reminiscent of 2 Cowboys at Showdown at a quick draw. Except it's a very fabulous looking fighter and a soccer player at a mansion.
Right.
So maybe not as much.
Nice block on the empty low. Once again, the 2CE working out for Bubba.
The orb set up for the Oki. brkrdave wisely jumps forward, uses the OD, but gets blocked. And Bubba establishing better pressure. Both players so close to overheating, and it's brkrdave that hits the gas first.
Chipped out here. Yeah, you forgot. There it is. Gonna get the punish with the soccer ball. Oh, we're trying to go for chip. There it is. But we're in overheat. What can we do with it? It's KAIN. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, truly a blessed character to be able to feint twice in their combos and still be able to close it out with some sort of launch afterwards.
Oh, that flash kick, and that is definitely going to put some confidence in Bubba's sails. Oh, but the cross-up A from brkrdave is going to allow them to get this much-needed combo. So much damage Ronaldo can dish out here, right?
Wavoo! Come on, man!
I thought Tekken was later tonight.
So there, guard cancel rev blow. Super once again. Bubba now using. Ooh! Finally, brkrdave tried to get fancy on the Oki.
Nah, man, this is not a black tie event. Put that in. This is casual Saturday, Sundays.
Oof, yeah, Bubba is just piling on all these options. They want to break the guard. There it is. Guard break. Guard crush, that is, for Bubba, as they are 1 round away from moving on here.
Guard crush has definitely been the interesting wrinkle here. Once brkrdave isn't overheat, and Bubba gets the guard crush, it's KAIN's game.
just going to build that meter now. Gets brkrdave out of the SPG. Now, once again, Bubba using that Rev Blow a little bit too close and getting punished for it.
And brkrdave wisely going to just stay at the outside. Doesn't want to approach too much. Anti-air with the soccer ball. I mean, hey, you got your hit, you get your hit.
That was slick. Okay, goes from Oki here. Good defense from Bubba thus far.
Yeah, go for it again. Gonna get the combo this time. Tech on the super. He's gonna give him a healthy position to close this out with the extra bar. Tries to go for some sort of lockdown with the super and having the orb to cover them, but that's expensive. And now we're on set point.
I saw Bubba go for that previously. I think it's some type of like safe super thing that they're trying to set up where the orb explodes right at the end of the recovery, but they've messed it up a couple times now.
Yeah, now brkrdave has 2 bars of meter, meaning Bubba's not going to stand back and go for fireballs because we know brkrdave will use that level 1 to reverse. Ooh, you cheeky man, brkrdave!
Oh, I don't think that's the input they wanted, but it's still going to work out for Bubba as he gets the hit.
Orb did not blow up for Bubba's meter, but hey, we got the combo and the corners looking really solid. And with that, Bubba advances to loser semifinal, eliminating brkrdave.
Just what an overall like change in flow from Bubba. Like we saw the almost like the idea of the win condition changing in real time, to where they're just like, okay, the neutral is not quite working out. However, I'm really getting a lot of miles out of guard crush here because brkrdave has to use EX ball and all these other things that is naturally building up rev gauge just to contend with KAIN. So Bubba, as a response, is just like, okay, I have this orb super that is cool for combos, is cool for setups, but it's also good for picking up like your gauge or like getting you guard crushed as a result. I will focus on that. So we saw a lot of just like, I'm going to hit a normal and just catch on this anyways. On hit, I get a combo. On block, you're not too happy about that. So,
no, that is absolutely true. brkrdave has to naturally rev up the gauge. So let's just give a little bit of a facelift too while we're at it.
Yeah, I think KAIN in general also kind of punishes the rev gauge quite a bit, right? His block strings go quite long.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard for you to kind of figure out where he puts the gap into his block string, with the orb being able to kind of reset pressure in that situation. So like, if the character that you're playing against also has to commit to using rev meter for their neutral options or pressure options or something like that, overheat's definitely a possibility. And we mentioned yesterday, it's like he's one of the best characters when your opponent's in overheat, because that super just basically guarantees it.
Indeed, indeed. With that, Bubba will be bringing KAIN into the top 4. We do have the big 3 representation between KAIN, HOKUTOMARU, and HOTARU. But BJJ being shown by Drex within this top 4 as well. So, yeah, I believe we will probably be going back to the winner side where we'll have ShinyEspeon versus Zane. Potentially, I know that Zane is doing a lot of work here within the change shift side of things. So
Zane is every TO's worst nightmare, double qualifying in top 8 at both games that are running concurrently. Meaning, the better Zane does, the more likely this tournament is going to get delayed.
Yeah, we got one of the TOs crashing out of the background. Shout out to Isaac one time. He's just like, why is Zane so good, bro?
But yeah, so we're going to take a quick break while we get that settled for you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
and welcome back to City of the Wolves top 8. Top 4 is where we're at the moment.
I see how it is. You want to make me look stupid? Oh, we'll make me look stupid.
That was a long walk to the water station, I gotta say.
Right?
The water's all the way over there. Top 4 for you guys. City of the Wolves. We have our winter finals set for you guys up on stage right now, but we want to thank a couple of people and kind of support what's going on in the entirety of the scene. Just like this is a regional. We have a bunch of regionals all around town. This is our schedule for the week. So we have top 8s for all of our games here, and then top 24 onwards for Tekken 8 later on in the day.
And of course, we gotta make sure we support our locals. Check out the wonderful shirts, pullovers, and hoodies for Chain Shift being sold online and at our merch booth, designed by our artist friends, basically at basically RK and Llama Artists. So please, if you got some money, got some dough, and especially if you like these dope designs, pay up. You'll be supporting your locals and your scene.
Yeah, so if you want to support your locals even more, I hear they got a good gig going over there in Irvine. SoCal Coliseum, weekly games there, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, and Guilty Gear Strive. And of course, they have the rotating bi-weekly games, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising under Night 2. A lot of the players you've been seeing succeed this weekend, courtesy of the house that this local built. So be sure to check out SoCal Coliseum and their partner event, Coliseum Clash, which is the monthly style that they run, has those aforementioned titles, adding Mortal Kombat 1, Marvel 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves to the mix, and some other featured games as well. So July 12th will be the next one. Don't miss out.
And of course, Xana Recovery Frames VFW post. Oh, that's the address. Wait. I'm trying to read the event here. Recovery Frames. Saturday, June 28th is our next tournament. Tekken 8, Street Fighter, Under 9th and Birth, Guilty Gear Strive are present. So please sign up at the start.gg using the QR code below.
And it also got Sandia Showdown back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A huge list of games there with a lot of prize pools. So you can go to startgg.or/Sandia Showdown and you register for the tournament.
Indeed, and if you want to go further east, NYC Tekken Monthly, going to be happening on Sunday, July 13th, 2025. That is a Tekken World Tour event. So, yeah, be sure to pull up. It's going to be happening over there at the legendary Next Level location. You can sign up at start.gg/NYCTKN63.
And if you want to go further east, just block on September 27th to the 28th in Seattle. No, east, Washington. Darn. I thought it was Boston Blue because of the blue. But anyway, if you're in Seattle and you want to play some Under Night and Booth, Fatal Fury, Guilty Gear, Tekken, Persona, or Grand Blue, we know where to go on the Start.gg. Just block September 27 and 28.
And this is the final Climax of the Night, Season F. If you're a Uni fan, you obviously know about this event. It is one of the best celebrations of Under Night, happening in Atlanta, Georgia. Registration is open for October 24th to the 26th.
Indeed. Oh, Sajam Slam. You can watch the Sajam Slam 5 on twitch.tv/Sajam. A lot of my goats are in there. We got SK. I'm the huge SK enjoyer, and I learned about SK through the Sajam Slam. So if you want to follow all your favorite creators and some of the fighting game coaches, it starts this Wednesday, June 25th at 3 p.m. Thank you, Sajam Slam, for supporting Chain Shift 2025.
Wow, that was a lot of people and a lot of locals. It really just shows how everyone's coming together to support each other, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I really do think that sort of the regionals are making the world go around now in the fighting game scene. Like, it's really like we have our huge events and they're wonderful, but getting together at the local level, you know, bringing people around and getting together as a totality of a scene in a certain area and all duking it out really shows what your scene's made of.
Indeed. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but I'm looking off the side here because the medals for this event are so sick. I don't know if any of them have been rewarded yet. There will probably be like a medal ceremony. Be on the lookout for them. I really dig the design. We'll talk about that later once we get to it, but we do have our winners finals coming up here between ShinyEspeon and Zane. HOTARU versus HOKUTOMARU action. We're going to be rap gods for this one.
Oh, I love this name matchup. I so do love it, Kraken.
Nice. Gets a dash up. Jump in. Doesn't get the full combo off of it, but not that big of a deal as we didn't put Zane into SPG. Oh, there you go. Now it's going to be super rewarding because we're basically clearing it.
Yep.
Oh, very
actually
close.
not quite.
Could have done a little bit of a better combo there, and Zane's going to take advantage of the situation. You saw ShinyEspeon go for a throw to try to deal with that wake-up rev blow.
And we already saw, because we didn't exactly clear out the SPG, Zane was able to use that little bit of rev to kill them out and take them out of their own SPG.
Yeah, that actually turned entirely around because Zane's still an SPG. Not only to the counter rev blow, but going for that throw on Oki to try to deal with it in the first place.
That one little bar. It's like the last little drop in Hercules that he didn't drink.
Catches him on the float, gets a throw afterwards.
All right, feint pressure, catch and low. Zane. Okay. Yeah, ShinyEspeon says, get me out of here. Rightfully so.
Nice little shimmy into the hop. Want to see that SPG cleared this time. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to spend the meter to make absolutely sure, and that is the chest massage I do not want.
I haven't seen that setup either, going for the EX quarterback kicks as the meaty. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay, revving up here, but for good reason. ShinyEspeon is trying to close out. EX teleport on the run in!
But doesn't really get anything, but it's ShinyEspeon takes the hit, but also takes the round. We are now at the final round. Zane with the meter gauge. I wonder how this is going to go. Now, an interesting thing, both players opting for middle gauge SPG, unlike most of the time where it's in the front.
It's definitely the Hokuto classic there. -2 into your super, just trying to steal your turn. Make him think twice about pressing there.
Right. Yeah, both players just constantly kind of jumping over each other. We're seeing some air dares as a result. No punish! Not ready for the punish on the rev blow at all.
Yeah, it is a little weird. It pushes out quite far, so that -5 has to be perfect.
Great jump back from Zane, and we have both supers available. Are we going to spend it? Please do.
I was going to say, yeah, at this point you can do hidden gear. Might as well get all the damage that you possibly can just to seal the deal, as Zane will be taking game 1.
Oh my god, I love these hidden gear cinematics. I know Andy Bogard is up for it, but hey, this little kid is going to hold down the fort until he arrives.
Yeah, even after he's here, we may be seeing a lot of HOKUTOMARU from here on out. He's good, you know. So, but Zane showing exactly why I'm loving. I thought the EX teleport utilization that they went for was really interesting. I think ShinyEspeon thought they were going to be able to run under, but just like the tracking properties, how quick it is, he still ends up landing within the front. So keeping ShinyEspeon on their toes.
A little air shimmy from ShinyEspeon of their own. Goes for the Miyagi, whacks on to the hack and stack kick, and these little short jumps are really messing things up for Zane.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel like that, although it is hard to punish, the longer that Zane is able to utilize rev blow as a defensive option and go unpunished, the more incentivized he'll be to do it. Remember, HOKUTOMARU doesn't have a DP, so he's kind of like starved for a reversal option. So if he can get away with rev blow, there's no reason not to go for it. Like.
Yeah, and especially in this situation, Zane doesn't necessarily want to spend his super with that little health left. So yeah, it's like you're kind of free to run some offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Run up throw, taking advantage of the mental frames from Zane. Classic! Slow fireball run. What did you say, Sammy? It's what you want.
It's good in every game. Whoa, nice. Knock on the throw before the active frames.
Okay, EX man throw. She gets a combo off of it for reasons.
The reasons is she's good.
It is scaled, though, and even tacking on the super towards the end, Zane's now comfortably in SPG.
Both players are comfortably in SPG until ShinyEspeon eats that combo.
He could spend the kill if he wants.
I think Zane has enough faith in their norm.
No! Ooh, risky. Oh. Risky! Is it going to come back to bite you?
May love to regret it. Yeah, I'm going to be spending. It's pretty much next 10 wins on both sides here, but ShinyEspeon has the knockdown. Wake up super, sniffed it out. Wait, did they even need to do that?
Hey, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Change ship moment 37, okay?
No, because ShinyEspeon did not have a lot of health. They would have been chipped out. That is 17 hits of chip right there.
Sheesh.
So they would have needed to start doing just defense at some point.
It's clean.
It's also worth mentioning to the audience that the just frame timing is a lot more lean in multi-hit attacks like that. You can just mash it out and get it.
Yeah, once you get the first one, the rest of them are pretty easy. So there is a little bit of a gap there that makes the rest of the just defense a little bit easier on Hokuto Super.
Rev blow for rev blow.
Zane has really good reactions for those.
Ooh, okay, Red Blow knockdown. You get a really nice hard knockdown setup here with HOKUTOMARU. Do what you want. Off the push to the corner.
Great scout from ShinyEspeon to just defend those shurikens. We still have one more option.
Oh, there you go. Oh, unfortunately, didn't get the punish, though. That single just defend was enough to keep them from getting chipped out. So there was an opportunity there. ShinyEspeon, unfortunately, did not take advantage.
Good counter hit from Zane. ShinyEspeon, it's so weird watching them get cornered so often, seeing how they're the ones dictating the offensive pace in the previous games.
Yeah, that's a safe jump setup. Now a character who can get safe jump because her DP is 1 frame slower.
Yeah, only needs the 1 bar to spin. Zane going up 2-0 within this winners finals. Sorry, 2-1, not 2-0, excuse me. But yeah, there's been like a really massive momentum shift, right? I just think of it as a matter of the double jump and the mobility options that Zane's been able to utilize. Things like this fireball run-up has not been too advantageous for ShinyEspeon as they would like, so really trying to find their way here.
Oh, we're comfortably into SPG range. How is ShinyEspeon going to control their roots and offense now that Zane is in this area?
Oh,
great jump in.
ShinyEspion's hops are actually insane. Like, not only beating out throw timings, but also beating footsie timings as well. And obviously, JD, just incredible angle for doing those hops.
In addition to the cross-ups, they've been landing those very consistently.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the key components for ShinyEspion's offense. There it is again.
A wild punish jumping. Jumping is so strong, but so is anti-airing, which is an option Zane does not really have at this moment.
Guard cancel, EX command throw at the close C. That was fire.
Hey, we're in winner's final, Kraken. We got to do what we got to do.
She really is the best grappler in the game. That's crazy.
True.
What's a T-Zoc?
T-Zoc needs to do that too, but it's like infinitely harder because the motion's a 360.
Jump back to try to get the timing, but Espeon still on the just spin. And these jump-ins, this is the change. This is the tool that Espeon has found that has tied it up to 2-2. And now we're 1 game away from Tatios being very happy or very upset.
Yeah, when you have a light DP, the invincibility happens at like, what, 5, 6, 7 frames, depending on the character, right? But it happens immediately throughout the whole move. When you have to commit to 2 CE as your anti-air, you have to do it within the first 5 frames, otherwise you're not getting the hit.
Hack and sack kick from ShinyEspeon to the Miyagi wax on wax off. Oh, I love that roll through for the get up.
Beautiful red blow placement as we're going to go for that red blow knockdown yet again. We're already in the corner, so yeah, we can go for some safe jump shenanigans. Off for the empty jump low.
What we wanted to bait out with a little bit of the shimmy, and Zane, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and tack on this elbow, and I'm going to get that game. Well, actually, that round.
I like going for that empty low there because previous situation, ShinyEspeon actually DP'd in that situation. So they're going to be more inclined to block the safe jump at that moment.
Cross up the old reliable from Espeon, but Zane, beautiful use of the anti-air running up and still finding a way to... the spacing wasn't right there.
All right, super puts Zane into SPG, going to worry about a delay throw. Very nice option there for both players.
And you can see that ShinyEspeon is going to be a little bit more respectful of Zane's offense because Zane will whip out that red blow for the reversals that you need.
Oh,
the hop timing. Been such a pivotal thing throughout this set, just getting through the throw. We should be going to the final round here.
Yeah, that's crazy how that's still working, right? Like but ShinyEspeon is changing the timings ever so slightly, and putting buttons there. You just have to give it to ShinyEspeon. The timing's immaculate.
Another short out wild punish, but then you get the full combo. That's really going to be a dropped opportunity.
Okay, extremely tense here. Zane does have all these resources to spend. We might be getting some of it here. Just skip out to SPG, I would imagine.
Oh, we have to. Zane wants to get out of that SPG range, which we are. And that was also a running jump, which is an extremely long-range vertical clear move, allowing him to punish that fireball.
Plus frames. Nice. Doing that very nicely.
Yeah, it ended up being an overheat as a result, so they need to be extremely careful how they construct their pressure from here on out. Gets the throw. Oh!
Every time we're in SPG range, the tempo changes in Zane's favor.
Yeah, Zane able to close it out in that final round. Takes it 3-2. Some good adjustments from Zane, but ShinyEspeon definitely making that tough the entire way through. Adjustments of their own also paying dividends, but there was a couple of key moments, I think, that gave Zane the upper hand.
Indeed, indeed. It was a really enjoyable match altogether. You could really tell how those two players ended up within winners finals.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Just overall game plans and just like presence of mind in some certain like niche scenarios is really on point. As cool as the guard cancel EX command throws were from ShinyEspeon, I do think that's the thing that kind of sealed their fate, because that last one that you utilized, that's what put them in overheat. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I can understand wanting to take that moment for you, and you feel like, if I can just get this, yeah, I might overheat, but maybe I can get some good offense going.
Yeah.
But it does severely limit your options, and if you're not correct in those situations, it gives your opponent a really strong opportunity to run their own offense, right? So it's a tough scenario. It's hard to make those decisions in the moment, and to be fair to ShinyEspeon, the guard cancel command grabs were working out, so it felt like a valuable way to start their offense. But at that moment, I think it made their game a little bit too difficult to close out.
It really speaks to the old axiom of the FGC: if it keeps working, doing it. But sometimes you have to recognize that what could be working could also just not be the best kind of working for you.
Yeah. I think uniquely in this game, it's one of those things where you have to watch your matches back front to for the entirety of the round, because Rev just encompasses everything. So you have to figure out where you got that overheat from, because it's not usually just that decision at the very end, right? It's usually all of the decisions previously, which includes simply blocking, simply using, Rev moves in neutral. Even your combo selection as well could play a factor. There's a lot of things that are involved in that.
Yeah, the context is important, and what makes this game neat is like having... It's almost an esoteric skill in itself to have that situational awareness of like the impact of your actions, and also where your gauge is once you land a hit or what you're constructing pressure and what you can do in that moment. Like, you're at 70%, you run SPG here. What can I do, right? And if I am going to do this action, is it going to put me in overheat? Is it okay to go into overheat? These are things that you have to constantly think about. You have to do it in real time. This is a fighting game, not a turn-based game.
It's hard to make those decisions immediately, especially if you don't have enough games yet, and nobody does. It's like we're only month 3.
Yeah. This is new. Yeah, it's a conversation, not an essay.
Yep.
And now we have KAIN versus JENET. This is another matchup that we don't normally see. Well, it's just because JENET is involved.
Quick reminder, by the way, we're returning to a 1-2 format, and then afterwards we'll be going back to 1-3 for the duration of the tournament. Very nice. Guard cancel, Rev blow. Once again, we see Drex do that before in previous sets.
Another Rev blow from Drex. Bubba still has a tiny bit.
Okay.
Very nice.
And remember, Bubba does like to slam on that Rev, so Drex had it scouted. Very great situational awareness.
Okay, Herbie. Respect being shown, but that Rev gauge, look at it crank up here. Yeah, Drex is looking at it too. It's just like, we're going to fake cancel all day. We're going to keep respecting. Ooh.
Yeah, that's absolutely the classic as well. Her Rev blow is only -1. It's not a fun situation to be in. So a lot of the times you want to commit to start doing lows right after you block it, but even then it kind of plays into her hand, because it is only -1. She gets the Rev blow again, or hop on top of that.
Beautiful Rev blow on Bubba's end. Hey, let me just go ahead and take the offense, and we're going to spend a little bit of that meter to make sure Drex can't use any more of that disgusting Rev blow. That's one combo, guys.
And then you just like spit on their shoes afterwards with the jump and Rev blow. It's so unnecessary.
Man, convincing. Like, it truly is just like such a statement made there from Bubba. Just like, I would spend all the resources to do a ton of damage, put you in extremely hard to come back from circumstances just to guarantee this round.
Yeah, they lost the first round because they were trying to be a little too respectful, and then they took Aretha Franklin off the tape and played something a little more aggressive.
Right?
Nice confirm off that far A, by the way.
Ooh, wanted to get the whip punish with the far C, and Drex going to go ahead and find themselves in the proper situation. This is something where Drex is very comfortable in. Their opponent in the corner. We're going to use that meter and give a little bit of a kiss for their boo-boo. Ooh.
Well, didn't feint it, so wasn't able to get a big combo off of it. Still tacked on the super to make sure that anything was going to work for the first game.
Wow, this really... this is like watching a pendulum swing between these two players.
Yeah, momentum's huge in this game, absolutely. especially when you play stuff like this where Bubba's been playing SPG on point, right? Taking that first hit could be a really, really big deal.
Here's that little sliver of life, and it comes into play! That little tiny...
Yeah, I mean, those slivers are definitely like the difference from adding one extra rev move in your combo or not, right? Those decisions are really important.
And they could win us entire games as we saw before.
All right, I'm recalling from Bubba's previous set here. This is really where they like for their opponent to be, right? You're fighting for your life to not block anything. They have resources to spin and a round to win. They do end up finding the hit. Into the corner we go. Hop on the throw. Bubba going to be able to take it.
Again, you know, as we were talking about before, Bubba adjusting the win conditions. We're no longer playing neutral. We're just going to try to crank up that rev meter and make you just do something bad.
Right, which is ironic because, like, Drex ended up being within the overheat in the first place just from running offense. Right, it's just they happened to lose a turn, and then once we set the neutral, Bubba able to recognize. But here comes Bubba right now, swinging.
Ooh, nice. Still had that charge for the flash kick as well.
As a Gal main, I really appreciate a good flash kick.
Attack on the super gives them a nice hard knockdown for the setup. Oh, wow.
Oh, I like that get-up option. That is something that we wanted to talk about more, is being able to roll backwards and forwards in City of the Wolves. Bubba using it effectively to get out of the corner and land that land the wake up.
It is truly, I think, one of the things that doesn't get talked about with KAIN is how aggressive this character can get played, despite being a character that needs to have charge for flash kick. Like, he just gets to run at you. Yep. And a lot of the times we see KAIN players want to kind of lay back, toss fireballs, kind of approach on their terms, but you can really kind of force the situation if you want to.
Okay, yeah, this is that play style that we saw from before. Yeah, I think Bubba was like recognizing that they were getting cranked up on the rev gauge from the feint cancels. That's what happened in the first game. Tried to interrupt the counter hit. Wasn't a full combo from Drex, but they're still in control.
Now it's Bubba and the Twisted Fate being overheat themselves, and Drex is going to go ahead and keep this pressure on. How long can Bubba go out? And they go for the super, so they will invest. Will they close the round?
Ooh, very nice. He doesn't get the combo. Drex will take advantage and put themselves at set point.
Oh, that is so heartbreaking. You see the mother of all whiff opportunities, and you drop the spaghetti. I feel for Bubba right now.
Absolutely. Drex coming out on top of some leader game. Oh no! Very unfortunate drop. Just couldn't get the super that they were looking for off the EX area B.
You know, this is top 8. It's a very high pressure situation, so I really understand drop the molds like that.
Yeah, those setups are pretty difficult against somebody who has SPG because that guard cancel rev blow is such a potent option.
It really shows the power of Drex putting SPG in the middle. Bubba will go through entire round just having it drain. Well, Drex will still have some of it unless Bubba does something really stupid. But that's not going to happen right now as Drex takes that round, advancing them further into the bracket.
Once again, we had a match get decided because somebody was an SPG.
Yeah, it's just really speaking to like the importance of the tool. Like essentially, it's just like it informs so many decisions around the game. I'm a big fan of Drex. Like this is some of the most like prominent BGNA play that I've been able to see.
Yeah.
And you really can see the strength of the character kind of come to fruition, which is just like when Drex is in those opportunities where you're in the corner and you're at like 50% rev gauge, it's like they're locked in on it. They're just like, okay, I'm going to just keep peppering these stances, fake cancels, and if you don't interrupt, this is my round, buddy. Like, you're going to have to be forced to interact whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I really think this character has some of the scariest pressure in the game. Even if you don't think, like, she's a super top-tier character. If she gets on top of you, like, I think she really, really makes you make bad decisions.
I really wonder how this match would have gone if Bubba put SPG in the middle range, because that was Bubba's go-to reversal. And there are just some times where they not even get to touch their tools because of Drex's offense.
Yeah, it definitely changes the way that you structure your meter. Like,
yo, he knew where the camera was. He knew where the camera was.
That's a professional. That's how you know.
Oh,
They've been here before. They've been on the stage.
Incredible.
But yeah, the changes in SPG are very neat. It's something we're developing still. I think a lot of people found their like pet position for it, and I think as we go on and develop the game a little bit more, we're going to see more optimal combos for people's SPGs like for their SBG position and their opponent's SBG's position. There's a couple of times where we've been saying, you know, you get the opponent SBG and it feels like it becomes more trouble than it's worth now, right? And when we're going to see a situation, I think we're going to see optimization where people drop combos right before the SBG comes in, and then maybe using super to get over as well. We actually saw that a couple of times in the winners finals side.
Right? One thing I'm wondering if we're going to see in the future is when you lose your first game and you go back, even if you play the same character, will players start adjusting where the SPG goes for the follow-up?
I think it's been happening. I remember one of the TNSs that I did, there was actually a couple of players who were constantly switching. Like through a 5-game set, where like every time going back, switching the position for it. And both players legit went from top and then middle, middle, top, top, middle. Like it was like they just both were kind of playing this mind game with each other.
It really shows that how we could really crank up player expression and playing the same character. You can play the same character and just 1/3 of a ship changes the color of your style.
Yeah, it's a super cool part of this game. As we get into our losers finals, a return to 1st to 3. Drex up on the stage, running the gauntlet, now with ShinyEspeon.
Yeah, Drex is definitely the underdog, not only playing BJNA, but playing so many games on stream. ShinyEspeon with the Miyagi wax on, wax off, goes for the cross up, and gets one of their classic jump-ins.
Yeah, doesn't get the full combo off of it. Both players in SPG have to worry about it. Very nice response from Drex.
You know, I'm really reminiscent of Drive Impact here. I come from Street Fighter 6, so that interaction feels so familiar to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder in this game because, in FF6, DI is universal on its frame count across all characters. Not like this game where everybody's rev blow has a different frame count, has different negative or block frames as well.
Yeah, it's one thing I really like about this game is that like the universal mechanics aren't universally applied. There's strengths and weaknesses that can really inform your decision making in the process.
Yeah, they say all mechanics are created equal, but you look at Espeon and you look at Drex, that statement is not true.
Add the DP towards the end. Yeah, have to deal with those plus frame situation.
And that little pause to change up the timing, and that was dirty! That was so dirty! To the low B!
ShinyEspeon almost with the full stock, too.
Highly competitive losers finals we got right now here, gentlemen.
Plus frames. Yeah, deals with it that time. 6-frame gap between that situation.
Finds a knockdown. Ooh, yeah, throwing. Recognize that Rev Blow was on the table there thanks to the SPG.
But we're still going to put it. It is on the table, though. The food is still present, and that food is going to make sure that you have to eat this combo right now.
Smart. Okay, yeah, so hidden gear. So this is going to be not only a good amount of damage, but you'll also be able to get rid of the overheat instantaneously. I like the decision from Drex. Honestly, pretty threatening game for ShinyEspeon here.
Not to mention, this is the final round. If there's any time to dump all your resources, it's now.
Yeah, already kind of high on the rev meter, so might as well get all of it back. You can get some great combos, great pressure with the rest of your rev meter. We got the hit, but we don't have any more super, so we're going to need one more.
We still have a lot of rev gauge to play with. Drex is still in SPG until that throw says otherwise. Espeon, 2 gauges to their name. Any super is going to decide this from them.
Okay.
Oh, great option.
Oh,
whoa!
No! What's off in the distance, so only a throw punish.
I can't imagine that's what we wanted there. Oh, and challenges that time. Very nice.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Drex previously jumped out of that situation because it's allowed because it's a 6-frame gap between those moves. That time pressed in the situation with a less than 6-frame button.
Here's a question I have to the two of you. We're seeing ShinyEspeon go to the air a lot more, which is their natural game plan. Are they doing it more because BJNA does not have a reliable anti-air?
I think even in the matchup that we saw previously where they were going up against HOKUTOMARU with the Zane, they just have like really good hop timing. So they're just playing around the mind game of like, am I going to run up, am I going to fireball, or am I going to like go for one of these hops? So I don't think it's a matter of BJNA specifically. That's just like what ShinyEspeon's looking to do, to utilize those different jump timings.
Nice, gets the read and the block as well. Drex takes that. Yeah, I think that ShinyEspeon just has like a really good hop timing, and the way that they sort of like pump the brakes after they run at you kind of makes you constantly think about whether they're going to fully aggress or they're going to just break afterwards, and it's making people make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Espeon put an overheat in the corner, but they go ahead and get the cross of using that great hot timing as we talked about before, but the DP allows them to stay on top.
Yeah, they feel the pressure. They're constantly making decisions. They recognize they're in overheat. The guard game can break up quite quickly here, but Drex does find a way out. Another DP. They know they can't block.
That's 4 of them. 4 of them in a row.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're as good as the cooldown, just a couple percentage away, and now they're going to be able to play the game again.
Drex is in SPG range, and you know Espeon has done their homework, and they're going to make sure there is no little bit of life left because they want this round that badly.
Gets a throw, and deadly way to close out the round with the EX command grab, being able to combo off of it. If you know the opponent's going to stay put, it's a good way to get some extra damage out of your throw.
Crouching C to go ahead and get the block, and the cross up from Drex at their own. Level 1 super, just attack on a little bit of damage, but they're going to put Espeon so close to SPG.
Yeah, I see ShinyEspeon actually utilizing the Rev Guard, which is interesting. I don't think I've seen them use it that much, but I think they're just really trying to get BJNA away from them, push them out further, so Drex has to overcommit to some of the more special cancel options to close the distance.
This is so good for Espeon. They always start these huge combos right at the start of SPG, meaning Drex doesn't even get to touch that bar.
Nice, gets a light combo. It's going to give them some space. Get out of the corner. Gets a huge hit here.
Oh, beautiful decision. We saw this before.
Oof. Yeah, very nice. Gets a combo after the 6E.
Oh, what a great overhead. What a good one. And we're going to get 2-0 for Drex. And Espeon. Espeon, we're going to see a character change?
Uh-oh. One character hovering over Terry Bogard. Over HOKUTOMARU? Wait, take that back!
Hey, wait, do you all hate the character that bad, guys?
Ronaldo?
Wow, I actually didn't expect the Ronaldo. I'll be honest with you. Like, out of everything?
Yeah, highlighted so many options here. I could kind of see the cogs turning of like what they were looking to implement, but Ronaldo is not where I expected for us to land. So a complete turnaround. And I mean, I didn't see ShinyEspeon's block. Did they use Ronaldo in the pulls at all?
Not just Ronaldo. Look, SPG at the anchor position, something we haven't seen all this top 8.
Right. I mean, it's already paying off in dividends. This has been some of the quickest rounds that we've seen within this top 8. They are coming out swinging with the perfect.
Word? All right. You know, I mean, there's one of the things, the scariest thing about Ronaldo is that he's kind of like Marco-esque in the sense that he is one knockdown away from running game on you.
And he can do that.
Very nice.
The offense from ShinyEspeon is just absolutely nuts right now. Just piling on all the pressure in the world. Drex can't find a way out.
We are playing at a speed that is making it difficult to Drex to find their footing. That was the quickest game of top 8.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 19 seconds. Espeon glued themselves to Drex, didn't let go, didn't get hit. Holy cow. This is the character change they needed.
However, you only get one game of this, right? You have to take 3 games. You're not allowed to switch back on your character anymore. So it's really up to ShinyEspeon to keep the pace going and not let Drex adapt.
And you can see Drex using the Rev Guard right now to deal with these cross-up situations, and then the Rev Blow gets the crumple stun. And oh my god, we're just running it with the throw reset.
Dude, it's such a different style that ShinyEspeon has in comparison to like brkrdave that we saw earlier, right? This is just like full octane, like in your face, I'm running pressure, and throw resets are an aspect that we didn't see at all. Like, it's not only a different like character style, it's just a completely different approach in comparison to HOTARU. Like.
We found a character that is throwing more than HOTARU.
Somehow.
I actually think Ronaldo does need to throw a lot. The character gets you to sit put because of the ball setups. So unless you don't throw him, they're not going to be real convinced to press.
Far A gets the combo in, and now we are going to use the safe jump setup for the ball and the Rev Guard. That is something that I like that Drex is doing. Oh no, we're going. No!
Gotta do it to them? This animation. No, okay. The throw. Anything can do it here. Goes low. ShinyEspeon able to tie it up 2-2 in lightning fast fashion.
And if you notice that low wasn't a counter hit, that means Drex was just standing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the character does to you. When you're playing that fast, the ball setups, you have to make those decisions at lightning speed.
However, I'm noticing a great wrinkle between HOTARU and Ronaldo, and is that both of these characters have a run that Espeon is using so aggressively.
Okay, break cancel being used as the air-to-air.
Finds a far A.
Oh my god, Drex spent so many resources for not a lot of damage, and now they're overheating. But so close is Espeon, but it's counting down, and great.
Ooh, okay. I mean, they were able to get out of the sequence entirely. No punish on the whip super, but not possible.
Yeah, CR7's run's not that fast, right? It's not HOTARU speed, so chasing that stuff down is not as easy.
You would think a soccer player could run faster.
than a kid? Yeah, maybe.
Pressure going. Didn't commit. Back throw. The overheat is still there, but it's about to be gone in the instant.
Espeon.
Oh!
Yeah, to be fair, we haven't seen the challenge on the close C Farsi, so that felt pretty good. It was a scary time because we definitely could have seen the DP in that situation.
And we are done. Yeah. And this is set point right now for Drex. Calling out that rev blow. This is a very great position, and we're going to secure that lead even more with that meter.
Probably going to build the next one, DP to get out of the corner.
EX Harrier B, back into the corner we go. Big implications here off the overhead.
The momentum is all Drex right now. All gas, no brakes.
Drex finally put their foot on the floor after the CR7 showed up, and it was able to take that final game 3-2.
The Ronaldo was a great choice. Lasted a whole 2 games, but it was just enough time for Drex to find that adaptation and find the victory for them.
Yeah, just the mark of a top 8 composed player now within grand finals is Drex, right? To where you take those 2 games, they're hard fought, you feel like you're completely in your game, and then like your opponent goes to character select, they make this choice that completely transformed the match, right? Just the CR7, what it did to the match as terms of ShinyEspion's approach, but also the speed of the games and how quickly it got tied up, that's going to mess with you mentally. You're just like, how do I even come back from this? And I have like 1 game to do it all of a sudden when I was in such a comfortable position in the first place. And Drex did it.
Yeah, no, I think Kraken, that's the perfect spot. Like, the pace change was, I think, the big deal. If they could find a way to do it with HOTARU, I think it would have probably been the same thing, to be honest. I think it is just that sort of aggression that caught Drex off guard. But sometimes players have just, like, sort of different mentalities with characters that they play, and they're just naturally play a character more aggressive. We saw a CR7 earlier with brkrdave, who did not play that aggressive. It's not necessarily the way you're supposed to play the character, but we saw it come out from ShinyEspeon, and it gave them 2 games. It put them back into the picture, but it is Drex moving on to grand finals.
Fantastic set from both players. I really loved watching Espeon just show the tools of both HOTARU and Ronaldo. So a very hard fight. You know, hate to see him go, but as we get deeper into this bracket, that's how it goes, man.
Indeed. Which sets up a very interesting grand finals that we have coming up here. So it will be Zane on the winner's side, who has looked very comfy cozy throughout the entirety of this bracket, right? Had a very close set against ShinyEspeon 3-2 in the winners finals, but moreover, I think that Zane has looked really phenomenal, unshakable. Where we have Drex, who's entering from the loser side, has a very different trajectory, right? They were sent to losers pretty early by Bubba, but they just been able to really flow through the losers bracket to get up to this point, even overcoming Bubba within the run back. So in terms of just like composure and like feeling themselves, I think it's Zane who is just like really in the comfortable spot. In terms of momentum, right? In terms of like the Cinderella story, it is Drex's time to shine in this moment.
Yeah, I'm really curious here. We were actually talking about it a little before because we both play Hokuto, that like people who pressure Hokuto, it doesn't feel very good because we don't have reversals on tap, right? And Jenny's pressure is really, really, really good. It actually is going to force Hokuto to make some either poor decisions on defense or to just commit a lot of their rev gauge to the situation, right? And even then, Hokuto, the way that Zane plays Hokuto, he actually likes to use a lot of rev moves in his combos, right? 3+ normally. And that is going to make it maybe contest their rev meter on defense and offense and have to make a decision between the 2.
Yeah, we already saw what happens when you're a little too respectful for JENET. So, again, will Zane just hold this pressure, or we're going to just see some crazy Ninja Kid shenanigans? Whatever it is, it's going to be really exciting to watch.
Indeed, grand finals underway. Zane versus Drex here. Zane in the winner's side.
Drex somehow found his way into double losers. Needs to win 3 sets.
Nightmare tournament scenario.
Drex must die mode.
All right, so we may be heading to the situation I'm looking for. So SPG, if Zane is going to go for the red blue, will Drex have the punish, right? That's a big talking point that we'll be on the lookout for. It's on hit, so we don't have to worry about it for now.
Yeah, we actually already saw the change up from Drex. He went for a far A after that close D feint instead of going for a far C, which would have given Zane the opportunity to go for SPG.
And that's going to be putting Zane at 1 little bar, but Wake Up Super, a good decision, because that's going to also crank down the rev meter.
Yeah, that option for Wake Up Super is a little bit more viable for Zane if you have the life lead, because you don't need it as much to make the comeback, so you can start using that as your reversal option.
Not to mention, out of all the players that I've seen, Zane is the one more likely to do Wake Up Super as reversal.
You have to, as Hokuto, you have to find some sort of way to deter offense versus your opponents.
Just another element on the mental stack. Zane plays into SPG, and Drex wisely takes him out because we know that Zane will use that SPG to get out.
Yeah. Amplifying the life lead as much as possible. EX in. Should be all Drex. Probably felt forced to spin on the super just to make sure that they were able to guarantee the round as we're tied up here.
God, feels like the way that Drex uses EX Hind is kind of like Marco EX Tatsu, where it just like covers that space immediately.
I see that.
You know, like you just can't press in that situation because she jumps into the air. You're going to get clipped if you try to contest that range.
Oh, gets the air shimmy right now.
Okay. Oh my gosh, all the jumps in the world. Double jumps, single jumps, caught reach in. Gonna end up receiving some teaching here. All the EXs in the world. We can end up with the hidden gear spike. Yes, sir.
Obviously, that's gonna be the maximum of damage. And if Drex is gonna live, which I highly doubt, no, we're getting the game. No, I did it! I did the thing. No.
First game goes to Zane. It's hidden gear, I think, is a thing that Hokuto gets to do when he puts SPG in the middle as opposed to point. When you put it at point, I think single supers is actually way better. But in this way, Zane gets a little bit more freedom for using rev moves in his combos and then gets the hidden gear to recover it all back. Hard knockdown. Nice. Goes for the setup there, tries to deal with the rest of the SPG.
And we're going to roll out to take the combo, but still Drex. Drex is looking unstoppable right now, and especially with this combo, yeah, that's going to be theirs.
Listen, whatever you want to call it, BJNA round, a Drex round, either way, it's just total non-stop aggression there from Drex. It has to feel good as a little bit of a palate cleanser and a momentum builder going into game 2.
I like that palate cleanser. That this is the crackers in between, right? Like,
Nice. I think that's probably the first 2 CE we've seen out of Drex, actually.
Oh, yep, well aware. Throw, get that Red Bull out of here. Opting for backdash instead.
both of these players jumping constantly.
That was godlike.
That was sick. That was sick. We're getting into weeds now, right? People are playing off of each other's timings, each other's previous options.
This is where we're in conversation territory. Set game plan is not here. We're just going to go off of vibes and money and energy. In this case, super meter.
I feel like Drex is trying to bait Rev Blow by jumping into the air and then doing drill afterwards. And they would kind of go in the opposite way, right?
That could be the case, yeah. Backdoor here from Zane. Okay. Piling on the pressure, revving up, but it's all good. So long as I find a hit, eventually it's well worth the investment.
Yeah, I don't mind Drex putting Zane and SPG here with the extra bar, because if you do find the hit, now you can clear it with the other super.
So easily cleared. And we got corner 2. This is looking like a Drex round, as we said before. Old reliable, wake up super, not so reliable anymore. Drex scouted out that timing. Excellent.
Yeah, doesn't need to just defend at that time. Had plenty of health for the chip. Make it nice and simple. Ties up the game count. Okay. So we saw a situation. Zane pressed after that break, which is -2. Might give Drex an opportunity to press that counter later on. Nice anti-air into the full combo. Goes to go for the safe jump. Yeah. Oh no, fakes it even.
Now, going for the safe jump, especially when we're in striking distance of SPG, was definitely the right call to make. Now, Zane, oh my god. Beautiful anti-air.
Ooh, double jump. Yeah, thought they had some opportunity for safety. Even utilized the rev guard there. They might have tapped in like a forward input to just cross them up off the double jump.
Ooh, nice fake. Nice reaction from Zane.
Can't believe they were ready for that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's going to be a massive punish. No, can't get the confirmation off the counter hit.
Oh, low. Was that low D?
No. That was crouch B.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, break cancel. No confirm. Showing throw on the minus range.
Oh, big wild punish there.
Yeah, you noted earlier that Drex showed 2CE as an anti-air option for the first time, because they've been mostly looking for the flip as a matter of anti-air. The thing is, there's a lot of startup there. It's a very particular range, and I think that Zane is utilizing HOKUTOMARU's double jumps and this is the air mobility character to kind of throw off your anti-air timing to make it harder for Drex to contest if they aren't going to 2CE.
You gotta be careful how you attack HOKUTOMARU in the air. But you know, if you're just landing combos like what Drex is doing right now, it doesn't matter if you're in the air because you're dead.
There it is. Pretty pivotal round here as we decide who's gonna go into territory of potential tournament point or reset point here.
Ooh, the delay timing! That was sick!
They're really tapped into each other's playstyle right now. Classic Zane, if ever.
I mean, I don't think he's had anybody show him that he'll deal with Rev Blow without having an SPG to match.
And I mean, it can be tough. Granted, I mean, Drex has shown that they do have some ideology for it with the parry, right? So we've seen them do that before, but yeah, just constructing your pressure around that, it can be a tough thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, a few characters in the game actually have the ability to punish Rev Blows like that. Jenny is one of them, though, being able to press buttons and then hard to react to it with the counter.
Oh, they found the hit right there.
And there it is. So Drex is the one who's going to be able to set the tone, go up 2-1, on the verge of potentially resetting the bracket if they can find another game.
Yeah, that's really important, too, because when you take the lead when you're trying to make a bracket reset, just even a game less could help a ton in making that long haul.
One thing worth mentioning is that Drex has been landing these dash-up throws. Zane has been playing a little bit more respectful in these later games, and Drex is taking advantage of that passivity. Oh! Beautiful counter with the OT! And with this combo, we are going to get ourselves close to reset point from Drex, and you can see that smile on his face.
Yep. That's somebody who's making a fantastic read on his opponent's tendencies. Takes a huge advantage of the situation.
Skipping forward. Oh, cancels into the throw. They're feeling it. Trying to close out here. A little bit too early on the throw.
2 throws and a missed throw from Zane.
They're playing off momentum, playing off vibes, trying to set the tone here. Oh,
there's no way he still does it.
No.
He just lost a round for it, and he still does it.
And unfortunately, Drex called that out beautifully. Oh, with my counter hit, this could be... No, one more.
Yeah, still a good situation. However, never mind. Drex with the reset. We're going for another first to 3.
I love that little smile that they did afterwards. It's like, man, sometimes I even impress myself with my BJJ action. The crowd is also killing me off the throws. They're going bye-bye with the BJJ. The energy is live here for Chain Shift as we got the reset bracket here for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
And it's only 11:55 in the morning, so it's only going to get hyper as we go on through the day for the rest of these tournaments.
Jeez Louise.
So we went back to character select. I don't think for any other reason than to just take a break. It's a new set. Because we don't see any changes. Zane hasn't played another character. Neither of these guys have.
No one's adjusting their SVG either.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, definitely SPG being in the middle is a little bit tougher to play around than it is on point or it is on anchor. I think it's its main value in center is that it is difficult for a lot of characters to sort of structure their offense around. Oh, very nice dash under and a huge punish.
Yeah, Drex is going to get the full value, stopping right before it. We're just waiting. We're waiting for Zane to do it, and we've waited long enough.
We're going to miss on the rev blow here. Drex just really running away with the life lead. Oh, there was a 2CE attempt. Easier said than done against HOKUTOMARU, man.
Drex going in. Great anti-air, using reversal anti-air. We're going to go ahead and stop with the safe jump, and it's Drex's turn to just eat this pressure in the corner.
Okay, yeah, the looping of the throws, not utilizing rev blow. Recognize they have that massive life lead. Just wanted to kind of like take that pressure for what it's worth. Find a way out, but get some challenge. The anti-air here from Zane.
Blow for blow, these two people are going, and the jump, and it still catches him!
That's a Hokuto thing too, right? Like the -2 in the super, and you jump out, you're like, I still got you.
Yeah, we've been seeing Zane do that, and it's also good, like for HOKUTOMARU, if you neutral jump in that exact equation, it's active for so long it'll catch a landing. I did not know JENET could do that too.
This is so great for Zane. Lands a level 1, takes him out of the SPG range, which is Zane's #1 reversal, but we're still gonna get the corner.
Yeah, no counter hit, so not able to combo that close C into another close C.
Oh, okay, the opening here. There's still some games that can't be spent. EX Harrier B.
Yeah, you can hear Colonel, kill him! Kill him!
Yo, this is not Mortal Kombat, y'all. There's no finish him here, but still, Drex able to make it happen, going up game 1 within the reset.
Finish him!
You can definitely feel the momentum for Drex, though, right? Like, Zane tried to slow it down a little bit with the break in the character select, but Drex is still making great reads and getting super value out of them.
Oh, tags him at the start of the teleport, too. Drex, this is just what happens when a fighter is fueling themselves. This utmost confidence that they're just radiating through the screen.
And we're seeing new wrinkles, right? I'm almost certain that's the first time we've seen a neutral jump D out of Drex.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, finds the meaty timing. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to stand still?
Okay, the looping of the throws as we have it. Oh, man, yeah. Landed the ideology of throwing your head. Tried to go for the tech. Zane is going to try to play catch up here.
Straight hit leads to the wild punish from Zane. We need to spend a little bit of resources. No, we're going to get the safe jump. Safe jump again. Double jump, really? Air throw? Come on now.
Ooh. Okay, get the confirmation of the EX teleport. It caught! It actually caught on the super.
Yep, once again.
Deja vu.
That's tough, man. That's the best round that Zane's had in like 3 games, and Drex was still able to close out the round.
And you saw how early Zane jumped. It really felt like he was just trying to call it out, but he still got tagged. This super is the bane of Zane's existence.
Yeah, you're okay with that. You have a life lead, so making Zane spend it on a reversal instead of getting it through your SPG is still valuable, but that rev blow from Hokuto does so much damage.
Oh, air shimmy. Here we go. Jumping in, gets the kick, and Zane gets a much-needed round, and things are starting to feel a little good. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but still 1 round apiece.
Yeah, it feels good to close out a round, especially when you felt like that previous round was supposed to be good for you, and you get a round afterwards. But Drex gets the first big hit here, gonna attack on the super and go through half of Zane's SPG.
Half the super so much, but again, all reliable SPG from Zane. Cross-up double jump, and the tech is thrown. That's great awareness from Drex.
Okay, slowing things down with the shurikens. Able to snipe out one of those EX Harrier Bees. All of a sudden taking this really defensive playstyle.
Yeah, Bonjane can't...
I gotta build that super. Tack it on. Gonna give you this night hard knockdown to try to close out the game.
We're so close to closing out. Drex, can they make it? They will definitely... No, they don't get it!
Oh, no! EX teleport, it's plus!
I am making scrambled eggs with this! Kill him!
Building away, just defense, just the EX! It's HOKUTOMARU with the teleport!
Whoa!
Oh
Whoa! Zane's making a hard read.
Yeah, because wasn't that EX teleport that was blocked?
That was
naturally plus.
Which is at minimum +1.
Yeah.
Sometime, most of the time more, but at minimum +1 if you stand block it on certain characters.
Ever since Drex got the reset, they have been unstoppable 2 games to 0. They are in the driver's seat right now.
There it is.
But Zane's not going to make this easy. Absolutely not.
Whoa, I had no idea who was going to win
totally
there.
could have comboed off of that. I almost guaranteed you could get a hind off that.
Wild punish, excellent. Stops the throw, and Drex over reliable. 1 throw, 2 throw, maybe no go.
It's interesting, Zane's like even mixing up whether he does safe jumps at all because he knows Drex so willing to do the guard cancel rev blow. So he's faked it a couple of times, but still going for it often enough to make Drex think about doing the option.
Early round from Zane using the level 1. Excellent. Excellent use of damage. We can get ourselves at least 1 game. Zane just wants 1 game. Feels good to win, but feels better. Just stop the hemorrhaging, put some gauze on that bleeding.
Right. I mean, it's now or never, right? I mean, this is Drex's time to shine. Zane trying to reclaim what they once had within the winner's side, but Drex, I'm telling you, it's really just a sign of momentum that they've been able to carry them to this point in the first place.
A lot of respect from Zane there. You saw him not go for the guard cancel rev blow because he knows Drex is looking for it with the close D.
A little shimmy, just try to bait out something from Drex, and Zane gets a second combo. Doesn't get him out of SPG range, and that's going to pay for them dearly!
Yeah, that rev blow just kind of goes in that perfect angle if you're going to do the silly double jump stuff above your head.
Yeah, not to mention there was a change to HOKUTOMARU's double jump to where it's more shallow now. So
yeah.
The pre-patch, that may have not even worked. Like,
again, we're seeing this. This is the 3rd time at least. That little bit of SPG left just changes the momentum of this entire match, and now we are on tournament points.
Here we go.
Meter all in the favor of Zane, though. You can get a couple of good hits and start chaining some real offense.
Could be one of those good hits in question right here to throw big.
These little dash backs and forth from Drex, I really appreciate it. Oh, a throw loop from Drex, taking a little bit from Zane's playbook, but we're so close to that SP3 universal overhead to the combo, and we're going to spend the meter just getting that much more deeper into the life bar.
Oh, swing and a miss. Yeah, they were looking for that rev blow that they found previously on the anti-air for the double jump.
That little bit of sliver. This time Zane calls it out beautifully. We have to spend meter right now. Please absolutely spend the meter. We're going to keep it going right now.
Seems like Zane almost like surprised himself. He found himself on the other side of Jenny. It's like, but that was critical. One of the best parts of this character is his movement. But puts himself on the board, stops the bleeding. I think that was maybe 4 straight from Drex before we got to this point.
It was. And you can see that Zane was using a lot more of the shurikens to just play. That universal anti-air has been doing so much work for him.
Yeah, it's a key component of Hokuto's defense because he doesn't have another anti-air outside of that.
Right.
Well, I guess air throw, but like air throw is a little bit harder on Jenny because she travels so fast with her special moves.
And now they're starting to call each other out for these throw attempts. And wisely, we are really keeping that SPG conscience and spending resources just to get out of it.
Oh, yeah, knocked out of that EX Harrier B. EX Harrier B has been a real big party starter for Drex. Even if it's not unhit, the block pressure leaves her advantageous, and it naturally pushes you to the corner, so...
Yeah, but as you mentioned before, like, we're seeing Drex kind of go for, or sorry, Zane go for more fireballs, and it's kind of catching the EX Harrier B more often than not now.
Yeah.
Especially at the startup. You're absolutely right about that. That little bit of bar,
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
called it out. We knew it was going to happen for Zane, only inevitably, and now Zane is burnt out. Drex can run the pressure under. Harry B was
what? He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that.
No
He got so lucky. He got so lucky.
So he low-profiled underneath the Harrier? We take those, okay? We take those.
Absolutely. We're just trying to get stars on the board here. We're just trying to get into the next game.
But this match is making some stars right now in both Drex and Zane, showing the best that SoCal has to offer in Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves.
Dude, it's so crazy because Zane has, although like you have to use Super as a HOKUTOMARU, he's not using it like all the time, but it feels like it's not paying off more often than not. Even though Drex has been running a lot of meaty pressure, they just have an idea when Zane is trying to reversal.
Oh man, look at this. Look at this pressure that Drex is running unopposed.
Yeah, you see Zane start going to rev block because he's getting too many close normals.
Can't cancel. The just defends.
Just
Denied the bye-bye.
Overheat from Drex's side. Jump back. This time he jumps over the super.
Yeah, was uncomfortable with the punish. EX teleport out the skies. Ooh.
They go for it and the air throw!
All right. Drex is on tournament point here.
We haven't talked about it enough, but air throws in this game are super duper good. They just kind of control the entire meta game around anti-airs and kind of simplify it into one easy one.
Also gives you a nice hard knockdown to stand over your opponent, so you're in a really good position and you don't have to worry about any of that wonky spacing. Oh, Zane. Zane's in trouble. No more SPG. That piece is off the menu.
Wait, we got buy and buy. Is that an in-sync buy situation? What's going on here?
Yo, but if they are buy, their offense with Drex is in sync with what they want to do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Couldn't clear that super.
Yeah, that's
Zane fighting for the life.
one of the harder just defense. Once you're already in the air, try to deal with Hokuto Super.
This could be tournament point. Drex lands the combo and is now your first ever Mark of the Wolves Change Shift champion.
And the crowd goes wild here. Drex able to make it happen against all odds. He collapsed on the stage! Actually collapsed on the stage. Drex. That's just the weight of carrying JENET on his shoulders, alright? He had to go through KAIN. He had to go through HOKUTOMARU, HOTARU. All of these villains of the game. He's the hero that rises supreme on top. Drex, your Change Shift Fatal Fury City of the Wolves champion.
Those were the three kings of Mark of the Wolves, and JENET overthrew all of them.
That's why I really like this game. You know, we were talking about how prominent the top tiers are in this game, but there are value to a lot of the characters, even the ones that are underrepresented.
Indeed, we saw that in full showcase here, courtesy of Drex. This was, man, I will say, like, looking at within the top 8 and seeing the character spread that we had, I didn't get to see Drex's blocks. Oh, no, I did get to see Drex's block. I was familiar with what they're bringing to the table with the JENET, but this was really just a run of a lifetime, man. I mean, just look at this. They earned it. They really earned this.
No,
for sure.
This was totally better than yesterday. Like, Drex played much better than he did yesterday. Just like sharing full pools, rose to the occasion and just had to fight through a lot, right? Now, this wasn't an easy run for them, but they made it through, got to grand finals. Man, ran it through that early part of the grand finals that felt like it was all Zane early on, and then made a huge run. There was some pushback from Zane after the reset, but then Drex was able to close it out.
Drex was the endurance machine today.
Yeah.
In addition to getting the tournament reset, let's not forget the match with ShinyEspeon. We're at the brink of winning the whole set. Espeon switches to Ronaldo, takes 2 games, extending it that just further.
Yeah. Another thing I want to say about Drex that I noticed when I arrived at the venue this morning, Drex was on that Kobe Bryant mentality. He was the first one in. He was the only one on the stage setup. He was practicing his B&Bs, you know, getting warmed up, and now he's the last one out, able to win the tournament altogether. So it's just like, in terms of like a City of the Wolves, like casuals of that sort, he was the one that was just like showing up early, getting warmed up, ready to go, locked in, and now we see it like paying off as they're able to win.
You don't even know that might have been his second practice.
Maybe who knows that Drex went home? Maybe
he's been here all night.
Kobe Bryant wakes up 4 in the morning, first practice. Second practice starts at 8 a.m.
All I'm saying is Drex started the day on stage, and is it any coincidence that he spent the most time on the stage?
That's what I'm saying. Foreshadowing. It plays a heavy part here, apparently. But Man, what a bracket here that we were to have here for Chain Shift. This is just only one of the first top 8s. I'm sure that Zane is bouncing back and forth with Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising that's happening right now on the other stage with this huge outpouring of support that we have for these titles here at Chain Shift. It's only the beginning. We have more top 8s, and the Tekken 8 top 24 could be happening a little bit later as well. So,
and of course, if you can see by the hubbubaloo behind us, they're getting ready for the City of the Wolves awards ceremony. So I can't wait to make sure that every player in the top 8 gets the reward and recognition that they deserve, because this is a wonderful SoCal scene event, and we gotta show the best that SoCal has to offer.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we got to have a City of the Wolves bracket. This is pretty well timed. I think it feels good to take a look at the game around now. We're almost at that 3-month mark, or getting into the 3rd month, I should say. And we're sort of having ideas more developed, more set together. And I think that we're trying to sort of work towards the countermeasures of the game. And we've decided who is the evil right now. And
the 3 evils.
Yeah, the 3 evils, right? And so everybody's kind of learning to work around that, work around these really strong tools. And as we get into, SWC and EWC, which is going to be in the near future, and seeing, who is going to represent these other characters, and seeing that these other characters do have benefits to them that the top 3 don't have.
Yeah, to really build off what you just said, there is now a conversation, especially in the upper tournaments, of how strong Billy is. Because
Right.
Billy is being heavily represented, and we didn't even see a lick of Billy in this tournament, or at least I didn't see him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of where we are right now. I mean, whatever region you have has their set of characters, right? And I think it's really cool to say that, like, Billy is kind of the talk of the town, and I don't think he's top 3.
Wait, no, not talk of the town, talk of the city.
Oh my God! Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, yeah, this is happening.
You just whip.
Let him have it.
You just whip the throw. Here comes Farsi.
I accidentally alley-ooped that. It was a shot, but like it looks like an alley-oop, and he. What can I do? All I can say is I meant that.
just like when Zane low profile that Harrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Into the cart. That was so funny because it's like there's no reason to do light cartwheel like outside of combo context, like,
Yeah.
but it worked out. Like,
we literally had a you could do that moment in comms.
Yeah, I mean, we're early on, so there's going to be a couple of those situations, and just the wonderful thing about fighting games is that no matter how long you play a game, there's always something new for you to see. It's just the nature of the series.
yep. Whether it's like a happy little accent or a
Yeah.
timely little outplay, that is the nature of fighting games, and it's at its core. So, man.
Cody Rhodes had a saying: "If the legend is more interesting than the truth, print the legend."
I like that.
That's pretty good.
So in this case for Zane, he meant to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely. I mean, Zane went into this. He looked the best in pools, I think, right? So he went into the top 8 probably looking as the guy to take it. And so got into grand finals, looked really good, obviously, on the winner's side. But Drex's momentum just so good and definitely takes him. And sometimes it takes a little bit of that to make it over the hump. It rose to the occasion for the moment.
I was just thinking back to what you said, Sammy, about how we're in this wonderful, malleable period of City of the Wolves. We're still finding things, and we're not even talking about how Andy is in the horizon.
Yeah.
That's going to be another little wrinkle into the equation.
Yeah, like 2 days, right? And what's really cool about City of the Wolves is that none of the characters are too hard to learn. You can kind of put as much work as you want into them. Like, personally, I'm like a 2 EXs on every character kind of player, unless it's, like Marco or something like that. But, like, it's generally like, this is how I learn characters, and I think it's, like, a good balance between recovering Rev and using Rev. And you saw, like, Zane, who didn't play like that. He was either, like, 1 or 3, right? Like, he just wanted to do it for the safe jump setups or wanted to do it for damage. And that was, like, literally it for his design on Rev meter usage. So we'll see some differing aspects to Andy as well. We'll see a lot of people put their own spin on the character, especially considering that he's a little different than he used to be, right? He's not the, like, super fireball DP character that he is in pretty much every other game. He has the new demon flip, even he has the air fireball now, so it's like he has different aspects to him that might bring a new perspective to Andy.
Indeed, indeed. And I mean, all the other DLC characters that are on the horizon, too. There's some expectations we have of Andy coming into this game just because, like, previous Fatal Fury iterations and KOF iterations.
Right.
There's Street Fighter characters coming to this game.
Yeah, finally,
like
you know, we're kind of getting our CVS.
Mm-hmm. Just about.
So I do really wonder, like, with the Street Fighter characters, like, how they're going to differentiate Ken from Marco. Like, what is he going to do, since they're both the Shoto guys, and Marco is as Shoto as you're going to get.
Yeah, not only are they both the Shoto guys, they're both kind of like the archetype of, like, the Shoto guys with a rush-down edge to them, right? So
yeah, that's true. And maybe we'll see Ken be, like, a little bit more Shoto, because I think that Marco's a little bit more, like, Oki-centric as a Shoto character. And we don't see a lot of that, actually, from the Shoto style. It's, like, actually more in the anime section in terms of, like, Kai, Jin, right? Like,
sure.
those like, the Oki-centric, like, all-rounders. But we might see Ken, you know, be more of a character that is actually playing around that, like, fireball DP war. It's really, what I'm curious is to see how they implement rev usage into their moves. Like, Ken and Chun both have, you know, spinning bird kick and EX Tatsu, and, like, are they going to be able to cancel that into ground moves? Is that an air move technically? Like, neither of them have air specials.
Neither. No, not really.
Oh, I guess no. Chun
does.
Chun has EX legs now in the air, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, can you do, like, you know, spinning bird kick into air legs and, like, be
yeah, like,
that might be potentially screwed up.
Or a rev Shanso would, like, pop him in the air.
Right.
But my question for Ken is, what are they going to do with his command run? Does he have a dash and a command run, or they just give him normal run?
I don't know. Like, SNK is never too afraid to give characters a ton of specials, right? Like, look at, like, Salvatore and Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah,
they are new characters that are, you know, supposed to be off of guess and have, like, a ton of moves. They both have stances.
Yeah, magical step. We're talking about magical step. And even then, Rock is the poster boy, and he's got, just off of his command run alone, so many tools.
Yeah. So it's really neat. Like, I don't think they shy away from like large move lists, which is really nice because usually 2D games kind of want to keep move lists short as opposed to other genres. But SNK has never been, like, too afraid of that. They'll literally cram characters with a bunch of special moves.
That is a very good point. But here's another interesting wrinkle in Ken. Heavy DP. That's his flaming Shoryuken. How does that play in with a break?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure because, you know, I haven't played SVC, so I'm not exactly sure how they handled, like, a 4-button setup for SF characters. It could be pretty interesting.
Well, I think that's the word of the day. Mark of the Wolves is very interesting right now, very fun, and we've not solved it. And just seeing everything just be a little rough around the edges with the diamonds in the rough just makes it so palatable and amazing for me to watch.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool about watching the game in its current state is that we're seeing sort of the early developments of defense and offense. Like, we saw, I think one of the key components of the sets that we watched today was the guard cancel rev blows and playing around SPG, right? And the reason why guard cancel rev blows are so prominent is because it's the easiest guard cancel to do rather than doing a motion. You're just pressing 2 buttons, right? But what if that's just kind of the gateway drug into getting into using guard cancels with motions?
Okay,
and that might be make it a little bit easier.
All right, we got the camera on the stage right now. We are presenting the award ceremony. Oh, can Boardman medal himself like the Obama meme?
I think it's top 3 medals, so not quite, but it would have been a phenomenal Photoshop for them to tell you. Like,
all 3 of these players played their hearts out. It was very, very. I feel very blessed to call these sets with you.
Yeah, and one of the other things as
all right. ShinyEspeon, thank you. Can't get over the hat.
Second place, we have Zane.
And I was alluding to this earlier. Look at that medal. You know, it's based off like the uni grids. It's so sick.
Oh, it's the grid. I just noticed it.
Yep.
Let's go, Drex. Yo, it even matches like the lighting in the ceiling, bro, with the blue and purple. That's fire. Give it up for Drex.
Came in early, stayed on the stage, didn't get knocked off the stage, and your first chain shift champion, Drex, literally fainting after the results of the match. Pulling a Kamina, you know. You go, little buddy.
Double entendre. I love it.
Did he do that, or did he pull a Justin Wong?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I thought happened. I thought he pulled a Justin Wong and hit the deck after winning the tournament.
Wild.
Congratulations to Drex again, fighting like hell. That is a tournament run of a lifetime.
Yeah, you'll definitely love that one. As you see the run here, starting out from the loser's end, having to run a couple more games than his counterpart in grand finals, but nonetheless made it there and took it after 9 games, which is a ton to go through in a grand final set.
Taken out first was Boardman's HOTARU, then JunkDawg's Marco, Bubba's KAIN, and then finally ShinyEspion's HOTARU and Ronaldo to close it out against Zane's HOTARU. Wait, am I? Damn, my memory, HOKUTOMARU. Thank you.
Yeah, but that'll be it from us in the City of the Wolves bracket at Chain Shift 2025. Thank you guys for joining us. We will have Under Nights in just a moment. It will be a little bit later on at 2 p.m. But for now, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys in just a little bit for that top 8 from Captain No Fun, Kraken Atkins, Sammy Fish, and all of everybody at Chain Shift. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you in a little bit.